A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
And now, the life of Mary Sothern. A chance remark, a simple request, so casual a thing as a phone call, may change the destinies of men and women and the paths their lives shall follow. When Dr. John Benson answered his phone in Sanders last night, he could not know that his talk with Mary would mark a turning point in his life. Could not have foreseen what swiftly moving currents would be set in motion by the simple request she made. Nor could he know that after their brief, matter-of-fact conversation, his life would never be the same again. Even now, as he drives along the road, bridging the 80-odd miles from Sanders to Craig's Falls, he thinks of the direct implications of that call, of one all-important fact. He speeds over the gently rolling countryside, his thoughts far from the snow-capped hillocks, the farmhouses, red, white, and yellow against the background of waning winter. In memory, he thinks again and again of his talk last night with Mary. The talk he will remember, though he does not know it now, through the months and the years ahead. And the words spoken last night come back to him now.
Hello? Hello, is that you, John?
Mary?
Yes, it's Mary. I'm calling from Craig's Falls.
Oh, I've been thinking about you, my dear. It's good to hear your voice. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
And the job?
Going beautifully.
That's splendid. I was planning to drop your line tomorrow, Mary, and suggest that I come over this weekend. I want to speak to you.
John, I called to ask if you'd do me a favor. I hesitate to ask you.
Please, don't have any reservations, Mary. Good heavens, you know me well enough for that, I should hope. What is it?
I'd like you to come to Craig's Falls if you can arrange it before the weekend. I'd like you to come tomorrow if you can. It's quite urgent, John. There's no one else I can turn to. I need you.
My dear, if you need me, there's nothing more to be said.
It's about
Don't say another word, my dear. Of course I'll come. You can expect me in Craig's Falls about noon.
She needs me. I'm the only one she can turn to. And I never expected to hear Mary say those words to me again. The only one she can turn to. Not Father Brady, not that Drake fellow. No one else but me. I wonder if she needs me only as a doctor. She's not ill. Her children? Someone else? It's almost too much to hope that she's changed her mind, but she wants to come back to Sanders. Yeah, I'm just guessing. I'll find out soon enough. The important thing is that she needs me, trusts me, relies on me, and not David Drake. Yes, I'm important to her. That's what really matters. That's what I've got to make her see. She needs me. A phone call. Once more bringing John Benson and Mary together. Destined to affect their lives in a strange, unexplainable manner. Yet another phone call, also destined to affect human lives, was made this morning in the city of Craig's Falls. And now, following his conversation with Father Brady, David Drake walks down the hall of the neighborhood settlement house towards the office of the priest, his lifelong friend. It is a thoughtful David we see, a David who only last night questioned the wisdom of Mary's phoning John Benson, questioned her for a reason he himself but vaguely realizes. He nears the office of Father Brady, knocks, and we hear.
Good morning, David.
Good morning.
You came right over, I see. Come in, come in. Hey, you seemed a little out of sorts when I called you. I didn't get you up, did I?
Oh, no. I've been up for some time.
You still don't seem too happy.
Well, I'm not particularly pleased with the world this morning. Something quite upsetting happened last night. I might as well tell you. I've seen fairly most everything anyway.
Well?
Well, after saying goodbye to John Benson just a few days ago, Mary phoned and asked him to come to Craig's Falls.
Well, no reason to be upset over that.
But she used such a weak excuse. She wants him to see Fran Garfield. Actually, I think she misses Benson. I feel she was hiding her real motive.
And why should it concern you if she does miss him?
Well, I'm not sure, Father, but I do know I'd much rather he stayed away from Craig's Falls.
Sit down, David. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I asked you to see me this morning for a very special reason.
Yes? What is it, Father?
You and I haven't had a good heart-to-heart talk for a long time, David. I wonder why.
Sure, I don't know.
You used to make it a matter of almost daily routine to drop in and see me. I've missed our talks together.
Well, you know how it is, Father. A person overlooks something one day, perhaps is busy the next, has other plans the next, and finds he's gotten out of his routine completely.
Oh, of course, David. And I know since Mary came to Craig's Falls, you've had good reason to spend your time a little differently than you used to.
Yes, I suppose that's right.
We've known each other a great many years, David. Been through a lot. Been as close, I imagine, as any two men can be. I value your friendship as much as that of any man I know.
And I yours, Father.
I feel... Well, it doesn't help to keep things to oneself or one's dearest friends are concerned, does it?
Oh, certainly not.
Frankly, I don't know the best way to go about this. Believe me, it's not easy. The things I want to tell you, the things I'd like to ask you.
Oh, you needn't hedge with me, Father?
I'd rather not. Do you remember one day, a great many years ago, when I refused to swim with the rest of you across the river because I was afraid?
Yes, I remember. It was quite a swim.
Yes, but with the refreshing directness of childhood and adolescence, you called me, what was it? A weakling and a coward.
Yes, I remember it very well.
Whether the names were deserved or not is beside the point I'm making, David. The point is that in those days you were more than willing to call a thing by its right name. A spade was a spade, a weakling, and a coward, a coward. I'm sorry, but I can't say that I feel you're as honest now, either with yourself or others, as you were then.
I'd like you to explain that, Father.
You're not offended.
Didn't you just say one shouldn't keep things to oneself where childhood friends are concerned?
Yes, I did. One of the saddest sights in the world to me, David, is to see a man with great possibilities. A man who used to have dreams, ambitions, hopes, and high aspirations, spend his life in aimless, pointless wandering. To drift when he might succeed. To live without reason, without direction. To throw away those dreams and aspirations he once held. And become a person who meanders and wanders through life. A man with ability who's proven his worth under fire. Yet who, when adversity first came to him, gave up. To spend his life in vague, formless regret. It's not a happy picture, David.
No, I suppose it isn't.
You merely suppose?
No, everything you say is true, Father, every single word of it. But don't forget the adversity that came to me.
It makes no difference, David. You needed some time to get over it, of course. Your experience was something few men face. But it happened years ago. Since then, you've thrown the years away. Don't you think it's time you faced life squarely and picked up the threads again?
That's easy to say.
And it can be done, David. I'm sure of it. I realized for years you've had no incentive. You've taken the easiest way, which was drifting. I know what you thought. I'm one of the few people who know why. Put all that behind you now, David. Now it's not too late. Well, you've a whole lifetime.
Now, you say? Why is now any different than last week, the last month, the last year? Why now?
Because now you've an incentive.
An incentive? You're thinking of what?
Of Mary.
Aren't you jumping at conclusions?
I wonder. I've seen it growing for some time, David. One doesn't mistake the signs, you know. It's been apparent in many ways. And today you're upset because she turned to John Benson. Whether you'll admit it or not, I believe you're in love with Mary Sothern.
Father Brady, who knows the thoughts of David Drake, the reasons behind his quiet acceptance of defeat. David, confused, without a purpose. John Benson, on his way to Craig's Falls, because the woman he loves has called him. 3 lives whose threads are woven into the pattern of the life of Mary Sothern. Now, you may already know that if you get Ipana toothpaste today and use it with massage regularly, it helps make your gums firmer, your teeth brighter, your smile more lovely. But here's something that you may not know. With Ipana, there's indication that you're helping the health of your gums. When you brush your teeth with Ipana and then massage a little extra Ipana into your gum walls, you feel a tang, a tingly sensation that actually indicates that you're helping the health of your gums. What's more, you feel that tang instantly, the very first time you use Ipana with massage. You feel the stimulating effect on the circulation of your gums, just as surely as you feel the stimulating effect of a brisk rub-down on your body. And, of course, that stimulation, that exercise you get with Ipana and massage, is important to your oral health, to the sparkle of your teeth, to the beauty of your smile. Remember, you don't have to wait till tomorrow or next week to feel the exclusive Ipana tang. You can feel it tonight. Just get an economical tube of Ipana at your drugstore without delay and use it with massage tonight when you brush your teeth. David, realizing for perhaps the first time his unworthiness of the love of Mary Sothern, questioned Mary regarding a vitally important problem before the arrival of John Benson. Be sure not to miss tomorrow's dramatic chapter in the life of Mary Sothern. The life of Mary Sothern, the human story of a woman who, in an unsettled, changing world, seeks peace, happiness, and security for herself and for her children. Mary Sothern is presented each weekday by the makers of Ipana toothpaste. When you learn that Ipana is the best-selling toothpaste in this country, well, you get a pretty good idea of how many millions of people like you and me prefer Ipana. But maybe you've wondered, how about professional men? How about dentists and physicians? What dentifrice do they prefer? Well, we have an answer to that question, too. Just recently, one of the biggest magazines in this country asked thousands of dentists and physicians what toothpaste they use themselves, personally. And when they sent in their answers, do you know what we found? That twice as many personally preferred Ipana toothpaste to the next most popular dentifrice of any type. Seems to indicate that there's something unusual about Ipana, doesn't it? There is something unusual about this famous, best-selling toothpaste. It is unsurpassed for cleaning your teeth. But even more important, when you use Ipana with massage, you help stimulate your gums, help make them firmer, more resistant to oral trouble. And more people are learning that firm, healthy gums are the very basis of bright, good-looking teeth and the lovely, attractive smile that wins friends. So for your own sake and for the sake of your family, remember this the next time you buy a dentifrice. Ipana toothpaste in the red and yellow package is the dentifrice that helps make your gums healthier, your teeth brighter, your smile more beautiful. Then I believe you'll also remember to get Ipana. So today, why not ask for an economical tube of Ipana, the toothpaste used by more dentists than any other dentifrice of any type. And now, the life of Mary Sothern. The beliefs of other people, their thoughts, ideas, actions, the counsels of our friends. These things will influence our lives, whether we will them to or not. The counsel of Father Brady, straightforward and sincere, has brought to the consciousness of David Drake the realization, perhaps for the first time, that he is an aimless wanderer through life, a man without a purpose, an individual who has given up his first encounter with adversity. The kindly priest, his lifelong friend, who seeks only to spur David's ambitions, also told David that he believed him to be in love with Mary Sothern. And David, confused, bewildered, jealous of Mary's reliance on John Benson, not yet admitting even to himself that he loves her, returns now to the boarding house after his talk with Father Brady.
The Jack Benny Program. Quality of product is essential to continuing success.
In a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts. And Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
LSMFT, LSMFT, LSMFT.
Right you are.
Yes, sir. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco, and fine tobacco means more real, deep-down smoking enjoyment for you. 49 American. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. At the tobacco auctions they attend, independent tobacco experts, auctioneers, buyers, and warehousemen can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco.
This fine Lucky Strike tobacco means more real deep-down smoking enjoyment for you. So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw. The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Barry Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, to those of you who haven't been warned, at the close of his radio season, Jack Benny is contemplating a concert tour. So let's go out to Jack's house, where we find him taking his violin lesson.
No, Mr. Benny. You better try the exercises once more.
All right, Professor LeBlanc.
Allons, commence. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Do not make it too legato. Grip your bow and play staccato. Softly like a birdie chirping, you sound like a horse that's burping. That's enough, Mr. Benny. Now, try intermezzo again.
Yes, sir.
No, Mr. Benny.
What?
Please, a violin is a delicate instrument. It has a heart. It has a soul. You have already broken its heart. Have pity on its soul.
I see.
You see.
Please, Professor, control yourself. Would you like a glass of water?
Yes. Put a little cyanide in it.
Not till we finish the lesson.
All right. Take the exercises once more.
Yes, sir.
Play it softly, play it tender. Where can I go to surrender? Make the notes a smoother mixture. This is worse than your last picture. My forehead is getting woozy. Onesie, twosie, I hate Yusie. All right, Mr. Benny, all right. Now try intermezzo once more.
Yes, sir.
Sacre bleu.
I'm sorry, Professor.
Mr. Benny, the violin has only 4 strings. Your left hand has only 5 fingers. How can just the 9 of you make so many mistakes?
I'll try it again.
Please, and this time, just follow these simple instructions. Relax, be calm, and slide the bow delicately over the strings.
Is that all?
That's all. Now, commence. 1, 2, You see, it sounds better already.
They're fixing the tree. I'll try it again.
No. Let's call it a day. The lesson she has done.
Tut, Professor. Look at the clock. The lesson still has 14 seconds to go.
14 seconds.
That's right.
And then you will give me back my pants.
Yes, sir.
Very well. Commence. The bell, the alarm clock, the hour, she is up. The landing, she is finished. I am liberated, free. And on the mountain of free.
Professor! Control yourself! Control yourself! Stop kissing me! My goodness, these Frenchmen are so emotional.
Forgive me, Monsieur Benet. I forgot myself.
Well, Professor, the lesson is over. You may go now.
But, Monsieur, you have forgotten something. You haven't paid me.
Oh, yes. Oh, by the way, Professor, would you like some lunch?
No, I wanted money this time.
Well, I'll have to get it for you. Excuse me a minute, will you, please? Come in. Oh, hello, Don.
Hello, Jack.
Come on in.
Thanks.
Don, what are you giggling about?
Nothing.
Nothing. You didn't come over here. Don, what have you got behind your back?
Mary, Phil, and Dennis.
Hello, Jack.
Hiya, Jackson.
Hello, Mr. Benny.
Oh, for heaven's sake, I know Don is big, but how the three of you can hide behind him is beyond me.
I beg your pardon, but would you mind waiting on me first?
What?
I saw this line, so I got in it.
Look, miss.
I'll have size 9, 1 pound, or where it won't show.
Size 9, 1 pound, or where it won't show?
Yeah. Nowadays, when you see a lion, it's either for nylons, butter, or vaccination.
Oh, yes, but this happens to be a private residence.
Oh, I'm sorry. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, by the way, as long as you're here, would you like some lunch?
No, thank you.
Didn't even give me a chance to show her the menu.
Jack Benny, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Mary, what's wrong with serving lunch?
Imagine putting stools around your swimming pool and calling it the Seaside Cafe.
So what? I serve good sandwiches and draft beer.
That's right, Libby. Pickle in the middle and the beer on tap. Oh, Harris, that gag alone ought to get you a summer show.
Well, that kind of stuff won't keep in the summer. You kids can laugh if you want to, but I have the best beer in town.
Oh, Mr. Benny.
Yes, Dennis?
I'm going to deliver your keg of beer tomorrow.
You are? Why?
My mother sprained her back.
Oh, that's a shame. How did it happen?
Well, yesterday, when my mother was at work, my father waxed the floor in the kitchen. It was sure slick.
Oh, you mean when your mother stepped in, her feet went out from under?
I think so. We got our footprints on the ceiling.
Well, that's too bad. Did your father tape up her back?
No, her mouth. You should have heard what she was calling him.
I don't blame her. Anyway, kids, what's going on? How come you all dropped in together?
Well, we're going to the beach, Jack, and we thought you'd like to go with us.
The beach? No, I don't think so.
Oh, Jack, stop being afraid. What happened to you last year won't happen again.
What happened, Livy?
Well, Jack was lying on the sand, and 2 men came over and tried to bury him.
Yeah.
Tried to bury him? So what? They were only kidding.
Not when they were playing organ music at the same time.
Yeah, imagine those 2 undertakers coming down there looking for business.
Well, it was your own fault for lying on the beach in a tuxedo.
No, that wasn't a tuxedo. That was my old bathing suit, and the lapels were a little shiny. Anyway, kid, you run out to the beach. I got to stay home and practice my violin.
Hey, Jackson, you're not serious about that concert tour next summer, are you?
I certainly am, and no swing stuff for me. I'm going to play the classic. You know, that long-haired stuff.
Long-haired stuff?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You ain't got the talent or the toupee for it.
I'll get along. Don't worry. Now, look, kids, I'm kind of busy today, so if you go to the beach, go ahead.
Okay, Jackson. Come on, kids. Let's go.
Hey, Jack, is our program all set for Sunday?
All except Dennis the song. Just run over it once, will you, kid?
Yes, sir.
Monsieur Benny, I am waiting.
Oh, Professor LeBlanc, I forgot all about you. You want your money. I owe you for 6 lessons, don't I?
No, 5 lessons.
I thought it was 6.
No, 5. I am not charging you for the time I hit you on the head with the violin.
Oh, yes, that's right. Well, I'll get you the money as soon as I hear this song. Go ahead, Dennis. Let's have it.
Professor, put your pants on. Please. Very good. That'll be swell on the show.
Can we go to the beach now, Mr. Benny?
Yes, go ahead, all of you. So long, kids. So long.
Go on, Jackson. See you.
Say, Don, why don't you and Phil go in your car, and Dennis and I'll follow you.
Okay.
Oh, Mr. Wilson.
Huh? Oh, Professor LeBlanc. You're not going to the beach with us, are you?
No. But before you leave, will you please go back in the house and remind Monsieur Benny to pay me for his violin lessons?
Oh, well, it's probably just slipped his mind. I'll go in and speak to him. You just wait here.
Thank you.
Oh, while you're waiting, here, have a cigarette.
Thank you.
You'll enjoy that, Professor. It's a lucky strike. And you know, luckies are made of the finer, the lighter, the naturally milder tobacco.
Please, Monsieur Wilson, go inside and speak to Monsieur Benny.
You know, Professor, the more you smoke luckies, the more you're convinced that those letters LSMFT really stand for Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
All I want is my money.
So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
I gave him 6 lessons, but I am only charging him for 5.
So for real deep down smoking enjoyment, smoke that smoke of fine tobacco. Lucky Strike.
5 lessons at $1.50. And I'm not even charging him for the concerts I gave at his seaside cafe.
Come on, John, we're waiting.
Okay, right with you. Oh, Professor, you better go in the house and speak to Mr. Benny yourself. I have to leave now. Goodbye.
Goodbye. All I can do is try again. Well, Professor LeBlanc, come on in. Gosh, how time flies. Seems only yesterday that I took my lesson. It was today, and I want my money. Oh, yes, your money. I forgot all about it. How much was it again? For 5 lessons, $7.50. But if you give it to me now, I'll take $6. No. I'm going to settle it for the full amount. You are very kind. Now, let's see. I owe you $7.50. Is that right? Oui, monsieur. Now, France owes us $4,606,000,000.
But I did not borrow that personally. This is not an international affair. Did I charge you for the Louisiana purchase?
What?
All I want is to be paid for the violin lessons. You know.
I know. Just sit here, Professor. I'll go get the money.
Good.
I'll be back in a minute. Put your pants on. Yeah, Professor's a nice fellow. A little excitable, but he's more...
Say, boss,
Oh, what is it, Rochester?
are you staying in for dinner?
Yes, I think I'll eat by the pool.
You can't do that, boss.
Why not?
The elves are having a party out there tonight.
Oh, then I better have a bite now. What have we got in the icebox?
Well, we got some cold boys, cheese blintzes, sour cream, bagels, and matzo balls.
Borscht, bagels, and matzo balls?
Yeah, we had them left over from St. Patrick's Day.
Good. Make up a big batch of hot biscuits with lots of butter.
Well, we're all out of butter, boss.
I will go over next door to the Ronald Colemans and borrow some.
But, boss, every time we're short of something, you send me to the Colemans.
Oh, we haven't borrowed so many things from the Colemans.
We haven't. When the time comes to return them, it'll be easier to switch houses.
Rochester, stop wasting time. Now run next door and get some butter.
Okay.
I'll be in my room practicing my violin. I have to practice all afternoon for my concert. So call me when lunch is ready.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, Monsieur Rochester.
Well, Professor LeBlanc.
Yes, Rochester, will you please do me a favor?
Sure. What is it?
Will you please tell Monsieur Benny I am waiting for my money?
How long you been waiting?
Since 12 o'clock.
You're a beginner. I've been waiting since 1937. Anyway, you better speak to it yourself. I gotta go next door and borrow a pound of butter. And, Professor.
Yes.
The lesson's over. Why don't you put your pants on?
Oh, Benita.
Yes, Ronnie.
Who was that you were talking to at the back door?
It was Mr. Benny's butler, Manchester.
Well, what did Benny want this time? No, don't tell me. Let me guess. Was it the garden hose, a cup of sugar, or my tuxedo?
It wasn't your tuxedo.
Good. The last time he brought it back, the pockets were full of sand.
This time he wanted to borrow a pound of butter.
Butter? What does he think this is? Shangri-La? All the man ever does. Borrow.
Oh, darling, don't be unfair. Once in a while he's loaned us things. Remember last week he let you have his lawnmower?
Yes, but it wasn't much use to me. I could only mow half of our lawn.
Only half?
Yes, that's as far as the chain would reach.
Grumpy, darling. He means well.
Oh, I know. And I really don't mind Benny too much. But sometimes he wants to borrow the oddest things. Last week he asked for some sympathy soothing.
Sympathy soothing, sir?
Yes, you know, Benita, the sympathy spelled backwards is yatapamis.
Oh, yes. You get your tapamis, you get your tapamis, you get your tapamis, drive your blues away. Mr. Benny's a pleasant enough chap. With all his borrowing, I sometimes wish we weren't next door neighbors.
Yes, it is annoying, but living next door to him has its compensations.
Compensations? What do you mean?
Well, he does serve the biggest glass of beer in town for a nickel.
I know, but that big electric sign flickering on and off, it keeps me awake at night.
Yes, and what a corny sign. Benny's Seaside Cafe. Come in and drool by the pool.
Right under it says, put your stomach in our hands.
Oh, my goodness. Look what time it is. And I haven't started to work on that scene from If I Were King. You know, I'm doing it next week for that benefit performance.
Well, I won't disturb you, darling. You stay here in the library and rehearse, and I'll go into the other room.
All right. Now, let's see. Yes, I better start with this introductory poem. If I were king, love, if I were king, what tributary nations would I bring to stoop before your scepter?
and to swear allegiance to your lips and eyes and hair. Beneath your feet what treasures I would fling. The stars should be your pearls upon a string, the world a ruby for your finger ring. And you should have the sun and moon to wear if I were king. Ah, let these wild dreams and wilder words take wing. Oh, Benita!
Yes, Ronnie.
Would you please put the cat out?
Miss Ronnie, I let her out about an hour ago.
Well, then, for heaven's sake, let her in. She's in some kind of trouble. Now, let's see. Oh, yes. Ah, let these wild dreams and wilder words take wing. Deep in the woods, I hear a shepherd sing.
Oh, Ronnie, I looked out the front door and the back, and I couldn't hear the cat anywhere.
Well, come in here and you will. Now, did you hear that?
Oh, Ronnie, that was Mr. Benny playing his violin next door.
Oh. Well, I should have known. Our cat hasn't sounded like that since she had a strep throat. Isn't it awful, Benita? You know, I must rehearse.
Well, darling, just go ahead, and if he starts again, don't pay any attention to him.
Well, I'll try. Yes, I'd better look over the love scene. Let's see. Here it is. Catherine is seated in the royal drawing room. I enter left, walk up stage, take her hand and speak. Darling, I love you. Love you because you are the loveliest woman alive. All my life I have read tales of love and tried to find their secret in the bright eyes about me. Tried and failed. But when I saw you, the old heaven and the old earth seemed to shrivel away. And I knew what love might mean. For your love, I would face torture. For your love, I would defy death. For your love, I'd reach the gallows. For your love, I'd eat marshmallows. No! What am I doing, Benita? I've got to have this stopped. Call the police. Call the fire department. Call Petrillo! I know, but you'll start again. And with that same old da 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 da. I tell you, darling, I can't stand it any longer.
Ronnie, calm down.
Something's got to be done. It can't go on. It can't go on.
Ronnie, there's the phone.
I tell you, if this doesn't stop,
Ronnie, the telephone.
Oh. Yes, I'll answer. Hello?
Oh, hello, Ronnie. This is Jack Benny.
Oh, it is, eh?
And, Ronnie, I'm trying to practice my violin lesson. So if you and Benita must argue, would you do it on the other side of the house?
Argue?
It's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, it happens in the best of families.
Oh, Jack, you've got the wrong impression. Benita and I weren't arguing at all.
Ronnie, you don't have to stand on ceremony with me. Even Rochester and I have our little tiffs, but we always patch it up, and I'm sure you will, too. I mean, it's not hard if you'll just make... How do you like that? He hung up on me. Imagine him being that mad at Benita. Oh, well, there's a job to be done, and I'm going to do it. Hello, Luella? Have I got a scoop for you? This time it's the Coleman. Uh-huh. Like cats and dogs. No, I don't know how it started, but he feels awful. He cried to me over the phone. That's right. You're welcome, Luella. What? No, don't mention my name. I don't want anybody else to know I'm a heel. Goodbye.
quiet for 5 minutes now. I'm sure Mr. Benny's finished practicing. So go on rehearsing.
Yeah, all right, darling. Let me see. Where was I? There's the door. I'll get it. Yes?
Excuse me, Mr. Coleman, but you're a good friend of Mr. Benny, are you not?
Well...
Would you please do me a favor?
A favor?
Yes. Mr. Benny owes me $7.50. Would you mind speaking to him about it?
You mean to say that Mr. Benny owes you $7.50 and won't pay you?
That's right.
Well, I'll take care of it right away. Goodbye. Well, how do you like that, Benita? Benny owes him $7.50 and won't pay it. Hey, give me that phone. Hello, Luella? Have I got something for you?
Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen a lot in the papers about a subject of universal interest, automobile driving. Until newer, safer cars are available, we should drive our present overused cars with greater care, thereby protecting ourselves and others. During these jalopy years, help cut down accident rates by encouraging better driving. When newer, safer cars replace the old ones, we'll all be better off because the streets and open highways of tomorrow will be free from the high accident rates of today. Thank you very much.
We'll be back in just a moment, but first, here is my good friend, L.A. Speed Riggs. In a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts. So remember,
LSMFT.
Yes, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. Here's what Mr. Reuben G. Fleming, independent tobacco buyer of Middleburg, North Carolina, said.
Naturally, fine tobacco makes a fine smoke. And at auction after auction, I've seen fine mild leaf bought for American. For my own cigarette, I picked Lucky's. I've smoked them for 15 years.
Quote, at auction after auction, I've seen fine mild leaf bought for American. Unquote. Yes, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So for your own real deep-down smoking enjoyment, smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw.
The famous tobacco auctioneers heard on tonight's programmer, Mr. L.A. Speed Riggs of Goldsboro, North Carolina. And Mr. F.E. Boone of Lexington, Kentucky.
At 49, audibility 49, American.
Basil Rysdale speaking for the makers of Lucky Strike. LSMFT, LSMFT, LSMFT.
Make no mistake, in a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts. So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike.
Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, in the near future, the United States government is making an atomic bomb test off Bikini Atoll in the Pacific. Among the ships to be used in this test is a famous old aircraft carrier, the Saratoga. And before this ship sails on her last voyage, we have been asked by the Navy to pay her tribute by broadcasting aboard. So next Sunday, our program will come from the hangar deck of the USS Saratoga in San Francisco Bay. I hope you'll all be listening. Good night, folks.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
Good health to all from Rexall. Yes, it's Sunday, time for the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, presented by the makers of Rexall Drug Products and 10,000 independent Rexall family druggists.
Good evening. This is your Rexall family druggist, taking a little time from behind the prescription counter this Sunday evening to speak for all 10,000 of us. the 10,000 independent druggists who have added the word Rexall to our own store names. You can always tell us by the orange and blue Rexall sign on our windows. The sign means that we carry the 2,000 or more drug products made by the Rexall Drug Company. They range all the way from aspirin to penicillin, and they're as fine and pure and dependable as science can make them. We independent druggists recommend them to our customers because we know you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. And now your Rexall family druggist brings you the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, written by Ray Singer and Dick Chevrolet, with Elliot Lewis, Robert North, Janine Roos, Ann Whitfield, Walter Sharp in his music, yours truly, Bill Foreman, and starring Alice Faye and Phil Harris. Last week, Frankie moved in with Alice and Phil. It was to be for just a few days until he found a job. But a week has gone by, and Frankie is still in the Harris home. As we look in, Alice and Phil are discussing their house guest.
Phil, how much longer is Frankie going to live here? He's been here a week, and he's making a nervous wreck of us.
Oh, now take it easy, honey. Take it easy. Just relax, and I'll get you another ice pack. Alice, you shouldn't let Remley get you so nervous and run down. Look at me. I don't let him...
Never mind the lecture. When are you going to get me my ice pack?
Just as fast as I can roll my wheelchair into the kitchen.
Now, Phil, I'm in no mood for jokes. Why, you can see Frankie's taken over the house. He orders everybody around. He tells everyone what to do, and I'm not going to...
All right. Now you're exaggerating a little bit. Frankie isn't that bad. I know one thing, he wouldn't think of...
Mommy. Hello, Daddy.
Phyllis, it's almost noon. Why aren't you in school?
Uncle Frankie said I didn't have to go.
Why not?
This is the day I have to go down and pick up his unemployment check.
All the nerve asking little Phyllis...
Mommy, where do you keep the soap chips?
Alice, what do you want with the soap chips?
This is the day I do Uncle Frankie's laundry.
He's got you doing his laundry?
I don't mind, Daddy. He promised to pay me.
He ain't got no money. How's he going to pay you?
He said he'd give me a hot tip on a nag at Santa Anita.
Phil, listen to what he's teaching the children. It's disgraceful.
You're right. I ain't going to stand for that kind of talk around my house. Telling little Alice he'd give her a hot tip on a nugget. Did he mention the name of the horse?
Girls, you'd better run along now. Phil, this is the last straw. I'm not going to have Frankie teaching the children to bet on horses.
Oh, honey, the kids are only making that up. Frankie hasn't bet on a horse since he's been living with us. He can't. His bookie went to Florida for a vacation.
Well, maybe that's right, but he's disrupting everything else around the house. And I'm going to wake him up and tell him that he cannot continue to do...
Not so loud. You know Frankie don't allow any noise in the house until 2 o'clock.
Yes, and that's another thing. He sleeps till 2 o'clock, and he expects me to serve him his breakfast in bed. And I'm getting tired of doing it.
All right, then why do you do it?
Well, it's better than having him come down and have breakfast with us. With him at the table, nobody can get near the food.
Well, you should feel complimented. You're a wonderful cook, and Frankie loves to eat your food.
I'd love to eat it, too. He won't give me a chance at it. And his table manners are atrocious. Why, last night when I put the turkey on the table, he tied a string to his fork and threw it like a harpoon. He almost hit me.
Well, it's your own fault. You should have ducked when he yelled, "There she blows!" gave you a warning. Look, honey, come on. Now, let's be patient with Remley. He'll get something soon. He doesn't.
Oh, that phone again. Probably for Frankie. Been getting a lot of mysterious calls, and every time I answer, they hang up.
They're not mysterious. Frankie's looking for a job. They must be business calls. I'll answer it. Hello?
This is long distance. We have a collect call for Mr. Frank Remley from Miami, Florida.
Miami? That sounds important. Oh, look, I'll take it, operator.
Very well. Here's Miami. Go ahead, please.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, Remley. They're off and running to the first at Hialeah. It's make swing back 2 lengths.
Hey, wait a minute, mister. Hold it a minute, bud. Hold it just a minute. Hey, mister, hold it a minute. Nobody here called for race results.
Is this Encino 8105?
Yeah?
Is this the home of Alice Faye and Phil Harris?
Yeah.
They're coming into the stretch. It's me. Sorry, you lose. I mean, goodbye.
How do you like that? Frankie using our phone to have a guy call him long distance to make a book. If Alice ever finds out about this, she's going to throw us both out.
Phil, who called?
It was, Victor Records. They want me to record a tune.
Oh, what tune?
Well, I can't remember the name of it, but it's great, honey. It goes like this. You'll like it. Young Johnny Jones, he had a cute little boat, and all the girlies he would take for a float. He had girlies by the score, sweet little peaches on the shore. But Johnny was a Weisenheimer, you know. His steady girl was Flo. And every Sunday afternoon, she'd jump in his boat and they would spoon. And then he'd row, row, row. Right up that river he would row, row, row. A hug he'd give her, then he'd kiss her now and then. She would tell him when. He'd fool around, and then he'd kiss again, and then he'd row, row, row. A little further he would row. Then he'd drop both his oars, take a few more encores, and then he'd row, row, row. In Johnny's boat he had a cute little seat, and every kiss he stole from Flo was so sweet. And he knew just how to row. He was a rowing Romeo. He knew an island where the trees were so grand. He knew just when to land. Then tales of love he'd tell to Flo until it was time for them to go. And then he'd row, row, row. Right up that river he would row so slow. A hug he'd give her, then he'd kiss her now and then. She would tell him when. He'd fool around, and then he'd kiss again, and then he'd row, row, row. A little further he would row, just he and Flo. With her head on his chest, he'd take a few measures rest, and then he'd row, 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 just he and Florence. Row, row, row right into heaven. Row, row. He had no Johnson motor, so Johnny and Flo would row, row, row.
Oh, that was wonderful, Phil. I love your voice. Nobody can sing the way you do.
Oh, I don't know. John Charles comes close.
What was that horrible racket down here? Did somebody turn on the garbage disposal unit?
Well, if it isn't His Exalted Majesty, Francis I.
Oh, Alice, I'm glad you're here. I don't like to be picayune, but I have a complaint to make.
You got a complaint. Remley, I got a complaint to make, too.
Well, you have to get in line. I'm talking to her first.
My complaint happens to be with you. You've been taken over here, and I've... Wait a minute.
What?
Where'd you get that awful shirt?
Out of your drawer. I was waiting for you to notice it. You don't take very good care of your clothes, Curly. This thing's full of moth holes. Look at the front of it. Why, this shirt of yours is holes all the way.
Frankie, you're wearing my peekaboo blouse.
I must have gone in the wrong drawer. I was wondering why Curly's shorts had garters attached.
That's my girdle, and don't you dare touch it.
That's the way you feel about it. I'll go upstairs and take it off. Garters are too short to reach my socks anyway.
Look, Frankie.
What?
I got to have a talk with you. We're getting a little fed up with the way you've been acting around here. Now, we said you could stay until you found a job, but you haven't even looked for a job.
How can you say that? I spent one of the toughest weeks of my life looking for employment. I started out Monday, didn't stop till the end of the week.
Yeah? Just how hard did you look?
Well, Monday morning I got up, took a shower. Tuesday I shaved and got dressed. Wednesday I went down, got my relief check. Thursday I spent it. Friday I had a hangover. Which lasted till Saturday, and Sunday I was so exhausted I had to rest all day.
Oh, you must have had a grueling week. You must be all tuckered out. I feel for you.
Yeah. Well, then you won't mind lending me $200 so I can go to Miami for a vacation.
200 won't be enough. You better take 400.
Oh, I only need 200.
I know, but I don't want you to go alone. You'll need a little extra pay for the male nurse who'll take care of you while you're recuperating.
Recuperating from what?
From the hole in the head I'm going to give you if you don't keep quiet.
Frankie, we don't mind having you here, but I don't think you're trying to find a job. I don't think you want to work. I think you're lazy.
Alice,
and
please. Remember, I'm your house guest. And according to Emily Post, it's rude of a hostess to nag anyone but her own husband.
Don't tell my wife who she can nag. If anybody around here does any telling, it's going to be me. It's my house, and I'm the boss. There ain't nobody going to... I'll get it. Hello, Harris residence. This is the master of the house speaking.
Hello, Frankie. They're off from the third of China Anita here.
Hey, wait a minute, mister. I want you to stop it now. I want you to stop it. Look, I ain't Frankie.
Oh, you must be the guy Frankie warned me about.
Warned you?
Yeah, he said if a jerk with a southern accent answers the phone, I should hang up. Well, tell Remley you just lost $5 on wooden shoes. Goodbye.
That doesn't. Remley,
What?
That was another one of them phone calls for you.
For me?
Uh-huh. He mentioned $5, wooden shoes, and Santa Anita. Does that mean anything to you?
Oh, of course. You see, I'm planning on going to Holland this summer, and I ordered a $5 pair of wooden shoes.
So far, you're ahead. But I think I can get you on the next one. What does the Santa Anita mean?
Well, that's
Take your time. Take your time. Break it up. You know, take it one word at a time if you like.
That way I think I can do it. Anita is the name of the girl at the travel agency who booked my passage on the boat.
Uh-huh. Now we come to the $64 one. How does Santa come in?
He comes down the chimney like he does everything.
Well, I'll be doggone he did it.
fellas, I don't like to appear stupid, but what are you talking about?
I'll tell you what we're talking about. Frankie,
Curly, don't be rude. Alice was going to sing at my request. Go ahead and sing, Alice.
Now, wait a minute. I want to tell...
Mind your manners. Our charming house guest wants me to sing.
But, honey, can't you
Curly,
see that he's only trying to get... Well, I don't
Curly.
care. I'm
She's singing.
All right.
The snow is snowing. The wind is blowing. But I can weather the storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me warm. I can't remember a worse December. Just watch those icicles fall. What do I care if
icicle form. I've got my love to keep me warm. Off with my overcoat, off with my gloves. I need no overcoat. I'm burning with love. My heart's on fire. Flame grows higher. So I will weather the storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me warm.
Off with my overcoat, off with my gloves. I need no overcoat, I'm burning with love.
My heart's on fire, the flame grows higher, so I will weather the storm. What do I care how much it may storm? I've got my love to keep me warm.
That was a beautiful song, Alice. Why don't you sing another one?
Never mind that, Remley. Never mind. Look, I want to tell you something, kid.
What's the matter?
There's a limit to my patience. Now, listen to me. Ever since you moved in, you've turned this house upside down. You're driving me crazy. You got me to a point to where I'm desperate. I'd rather have anybody living here than you. Do you hear me? Anybody.
Good morning, Philip.
Even him, and that shows you how desperate I am.
Hello, Alice. Franklin, I think I may be able to get a job for you.
Who asked you?
I did. What kind of a job, Willie?
With the City Gas and Electric Company.
Hey, that sounds swell.
Oh, it sounds like a wonderful job.
You like it so much, why don't one of you take it? I wouldn't work for the electric company again after what they did to me.
Again?
Again.
You mean you work for the electric company?
Well, yeah, sure. Before I became a musician, I had a very important job with them. It was my duty to pull the switch that would turn all the streetlights on. I was with them for 10 years, then they fired me.
What happened?
I made one little mistake, and they let me go.
Why?
One night I got lit, and the city didn't. Besides, I can't take just any ordinary job. I'm a guitar player, a musician, an artist.
A moocher?
Curly, that hurts. It's not my fault that I'm not working. It's not my fault if I was fired by a certain drug company which shall remain nameless because I ain't going to give those ingrates a free plug.
Franklin, that's no way to talk about a fine company like Rehearsal.
Mr. Faye, I'll thank you not to mention that name in my presence.
What do you mean, don't mention Rehearsal? Willie happens to work for him, and so do I. I do a radio show for him, and I mention him every week, so you'd better get used to the name, Clyde.
Clyde, I can get used to. It's that other name that goes against. You know, Curly, if you were a friend of mine, you wouldn't mention that name on the air every week.
What are you talking about? That's my sponsors. I have to mention them in the commercial.
I don't see why.
Well, what do you want me to do? Come on the air and say, good health to all from...
No, you don't have to leave yourself up there. There are a lot of nice companies you could mention. Why can't you say good health to all from I.J. Fox?
We ain't selling I.J. Foxes. We're selling drug products. 2,000 of the finest drug products that science can produce. And you can depend on any product that bears the name Rehearsal. Recksaul.
I always spell it Rexall.
You ain't been with them as long as I have. Now, look, Frankie, as I was saying about Rex,
Curly,
I
told you not to mention that name. I'm warning you, if anybody in this house mentions that name once more, I'll be obliged to leave.
Rexall.
All right. All right, I guess I can take a hint.
You mean you're leaving?
No, from now on you can mention Rexall.
Look, Frankie.
What?
Look, we love to have you here, but can't you see you're driving us all nuts? I mean, can't you see that? You've got to get a job, or don't you want one?
Well, of course I want a job. But I told you I can't take just anything. It has to be as a musician and in radio. After all, I have my dignity and reputation to uphold. I cannot lower myself to take any old job.
I'll get it.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello, Remley. Hey, Sammy, Remley must be doing okay. He's got a dame answering the phone for him now.
Now, just a moment. I am not a dame. I happen to be Mrs. Phil Harris.
All right, you got your troubles. I got mine. Now, you want to hear the results?
What results?
Error from the fourth of Faye Manners has to break his first pass by a length with Easy Glory hugging the rail.
Who's hugging what?
Easy Glory hugging the rail. And now they're coming around the back with a floor map on the inside.
Inside of what?
Inside of the track. What do you think? Now, will you be quiet, Toots? It's a two-way race as they come into the stretch, and don't ask me who's wearing a two-way stretch. That's the wire. It's warm up by a head. Sorry, Remley, you lose this race, too.
So that's what all those phone calls have been. Frankie Remley, I want to talk to you.
Something is amiss, maybe?
Now, look. You've been using our phone to bet on the horses. Phil, this is the end. You've just got to find him a job and get him out of here.
Find him a job with who? Nobody wants him.
Oh, you know everybody in show business. People like Bob Hope and Bing Crosby. Maybe they can use him on their show. I just don't want to see him around here anymore. Goodbye.
All right, honey, all right. Starting Thursday night, I'll take him over to see Al Jolson. Then Friday, we'll see Eddie Cantor, and Saturday, we'll see Ralph Edwards.
None of those names do anything to me. Could you take me over to see Lana Turner?
She don't have a radio show. What do you want to go over there for?
I gotta have a talk with you, kid.
I'm having a talk with you. I don't blame Alice for getting mad. Do you realize that you can get us into a lot of trouble by using our phone to make bets?
What trouble? Who's gonna know what's going on?
Excuse me a minute.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
I'm Sergeant Quillen from the police department.
The police?
I'm here to find out about bets being made over your telephone.
Oh. Remley.
Yeah.
Who's gonna know wants to know what's going on.
What are you talking about? Who's... Well, look who's here, little boy Blue. What do you want?
The phone company said you've been taking bets here. If you don't mind, I'd like to come in and look around.
No, officer. Certainly. Come on in. Look around.
Thanks.
Remley, I told you you're going to get us in trouble. Now you got the law on us.
Oh, Curly, how corny can you get pulling a Keystone Cop on me just to get me out of here? This guy's a phony if I ever saw one.
Will you just listen to me a minute? Now, the guy ain't no phony. I got nothing to do with this. He's the real McCoy. This boy is Sammy Summons in person.
Oh, stop it, will you? I know you planned this, and it's a pretty low-down trick to pull on me.
Well, this doesn't look like a betting room. Who owns this house?
I do, sir. An honest officer. This is a respectable home. This is no betting room, and if you don't believe me, just ask Mr. Remley.
How about it, Remley? Is this man running a betting room?
I wouldn't know. I just dropped in to look at some of his hot furs.
Frankie.
How much did you say you wanted for Loretta Young's mink coat? Hot first,
Remley, will you please be sure? Look, officer, I'm not a crook. Honest, I'm not. I'm a married man. I've got a wife.
I'd like to talk to your wife. Which one? He's got them all over the country.
Yeah, he looks like the lady killer type. Tall, handsome, curly-headed rogue.
I'm telling you I'm not... Oh, officer, you're just saying that.
We better get this straightened out at headquarters. Come along with me.
I'm innocent, I tell you. I didn't do anything. I'm Phil Harris, and I haven't got time to waste at headquarters. I'm a busy man.
He's right, officer. He hasn't got time to go to headquarters right now.
Why not?
He's got a truckload of aliens waiting to be smuggled across the border.
I've heard enough. Come on. I'm taking
Oh, no,
you
you're not. I didn't do nothing, and you can't arrest me.
Hey, wait a minute. Are you really a cop?
I told you he was. Now, Frankie, tell that officer. Tell him the truth. Officer, he's got something to say to you.
All right. What have you got to say?
Will he be allowed to have visitors?
You're wasting my time. Are you going to come with me, Harris, or do I have to get tough?
All right, go ahead and get tough. I'm innocent, I tell you, and you can't make me go. Nobody can make me go, and I'm telling you for the last time that you can't. Officer, put me down.
Alice and Phil will be back in just a moment. But right now, our Rexall family druggist has a young and somewhat confused customer.
Is it true that your middle name is Rexall? My pop said it was.
Well, son, he meant that my middle store name is Rexall. A lot of independent druggists, about 10,000 of them, have that middle name.
Why?
Because we've been selected to carry the 2,000 or more quality drug products made by the Rexall Drug Company. And we put the orange and blue Rexall sign on our windows that tells everybody ours are the only stores that sell them.
Why'd you do that?
Because we know they're such good products, son. Maybe I can make it a little clearer for you. Look, you like to weigh yourself on the scale outside, don't you?
Well, gee, sure. The guy's got to know how much he weighs. It's important.
You bet it is, son. Well, it's a lot more important for Rexall scientists to know just how much all the different things that go into a drug product weigh. Not only that, they've got to know it right down to the tiniest possible fraction. And that's why in Rexall's quality control laboratory, they use a scale so sensitive that it can actually weigh the mark made by a pencil on a piece of paper.
Golly.
Yes, son, it's a lot of little things like that, all added up together, that caused so many independent druggists to carry Rexall drug products. And it's also why we tell our customers you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall.
Oh, Phil, this is a fine state of affairs when I have to come down and bail you out of jail.
Well, it wasn't my fault. Frankie framed me with that policeman.
Oh, Curly, I didn't know he was a real cop until he carried you out of the house.
Well, then why didn't you tell him the truth then?
Well, if I did, he would have taken me to jail, and I ain't got no time to waste in the clink. I got to be out looking for a job, remember?
Well, this time I'm going to get you one. This Thursday, I'm taking you over and getting you a job with Al Jolson.
If it's all the same to you, Curly, I'd rather be arrested.
Oh. This is Bill Foreman wishing good health to all from Rexall.
NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Claudette Colbert, Edward Arnold, Basil Rathbone, Ernst Lubitsch, and maybe Jack Bennett.
The Gulf Screen Guild Theater. Your host, the director of the Star's own theater, Roger Pryor.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of your neighborhood good Gulf dealer and the Gulf Oil Companies, welcome to the Gulf Screen Guild Theater. For our guests tonight, we have Claudette Colbert, Edward Arnold, Basil Rathbone, and Ernst Lubitsch. 4 of Filmdom's outstanding personalities who will offer...
Hey, just a minute, Roger. I thought Jack Benny was supposed to be one of the guests here tonight.
Jack Benny? Well, he was, Bud, but he got a little temperamental and hard to handle, so...
Say, I wonder, could he be mad at me?
No, Bud. I know the real story.
Well, he could be. You know, I sent some photographers to his house.
But Benny likes to have his picture taken.
That's it. They didn't take Benny's picture. They took Carmichael's, Benny's polar bear.
Oh, but why?
Well, you see, the Gulf people were getting up a sign that said, "Laugh at Winter," and they wanted Carmichael to pose for the picture of a big white polar bear on the sign.
Well, that sounds okay to me.
But Jack insisted that they use pictures of him in a fur coat instead.
Oh, now, Jack isn't the kind of a fellow to begrudge a polar bear a little publicity.
A little publicity? Why, you'll see that laughing white polar bear sign outside every Gulf station in the country. And when you do see it, remember that winter is just around the corner, and that right now is not a minute too soon to prepare for winter. To change your motor oil for winter-grade Gulf Pride motor oil. Gulf Pride is the motor oil made by the famous Alclor process that only Gulf uses. Gulf Pride helps give you a quick starting motor and real engine protection, both when your motor is cold and after it warms up. Be sure to stop soon at the sign of the Gulf orange disc, where you see the picture of the laughing white bear for Gulf Pride motor oil.
Well, that was good advice, Bud. But now about Jack Benny. You see, Jack wanted to be on the show in the worst way, but we tried to explain to him that this season we're going to do a dramatic series, and he just wouldn't fit in. We had an awful time convincing him.
Well, I thought the Guild had asked Jack to appear in this broadcast.
Oh, no, it's the other way around. We didn't ask him. He asked us.
Well, Jack said that we were going to...
Look, Bud, it's a long story. Now, let me explain the whole thing. When Jack found out that Ernst Lubitsch was going to direct Claudette Colbert and Basil Rathbone in the dramatic sketch, right away he wanted to muscle in on it. So he called up Edward Arnold, president of the Screen Actors Guild, and tried to sell himself. The way I understand it, Arnold had an awful time convincing Jack.
But look, Mr. Arnold, there's no reason why I shouldn't be on this show. Gee, when else will I get a chance to act with Claudette Colbert?
Jack, I've been trying to explain to you that the play is all set and the cast is complete. Now, let's make it some other time.
Now, you don't have to beat around the bush, Mr. Arnold. Look, if you don't want me on the show, just tell me. All I want is a simple answer, yes or no.
No.
Now, wait a minute. I can tell from your attitude, Mr. Arnold, that this is a personal matter. What have you got against me?
I haven't got anything against you, Jack. But you're a comedian, and frankly, I don't think you have enough dramatic ability to play the lead opposite Miss Colbert.
What do you mean I can't be dramatic? You ever see me when I was worried? Why, I'm only 32 and I've got gray hair.
You're only what?
I've got gray hair, can't you hear? Now, look, Mr. Arnold, I'm not going to beg to be on this program, and let's get this settled one way or the other. Is it yes or no?
Definitely no.
Well, who can I speak to besides you about this? There must be somebody.
Well, Jack, there's only one suggestion I can make. Get in touch with Ernst Lubitsch. He's going to direct the play.
Gee, Lubitsch.
And if it's all right with him, it's all right with me.
Well, thanks. I'll call him right away. By the way, what's Mr. Lubitsch's telephone number?
Ulrich, 8900.
Wait till I write it down. Ulrich. Hey, that's the number you call to get the correct time. Now, look, Mr. Arnold. Hello? Hello? Operator, I was cut off.
That's what you think, kid.
Oh, I'm sorry. Fine president of the Screen Actors Guild. I got a good mind to run against him. Well, let's see. Where can I get Lubitsch's number? Oh, here's a telephone book right here. No, miss. I want to talk to Mr. Lubitsch personally.
Who's calling, please?
Benny, Jack Benny.
Yes, sir. Is it about insurance or something?
No, it's about acting. Now, please have Mr. Lubitsch come to the phone.
Do you think he will?
I don't know. Let's find out. Ask him.
Yes, sir.
Sure as yet. I haven't sold a policy since Paramount picked up my option. And the first... Hello, Mr. Lubitsch. This is... Oh, he's not there yet. What's the matter with me, anyway?
Hello?
Gee, you think that I... Oh, hello! Hello, Mr. Lubitsch. This is Jack. I'm calling you about that Gulf show you're directing next week. And I was wondering if there was a part in it for me.
Jack who?
Oh, pardon me. Benny, Jack Benny. Remember we met once at a party at Barbara Stanwyck's house?
Yes?
You know, the girl that's married to Robert Taylor.
Well, I know her and I know him. But who are you?
I'm Benny, Jack Benny. Oh, the radio comedian, uh-huh.
Hooray, I sunk in. Now, here's the situation, Mr. Lubitsch. I just spoke to Edward Arnold, president of the Screen Actors Guild, whom, incidentally, I'm running against next year. And Mr. Arnold said if it was okay with you, I could be on the program.
But, Mr. Benny, this is a serious, dramatic play, and I'm afraid there is no part in it for you.
Well, why not?
But you are a comedian. What can I do with you in the drama?
Look, Mr. Lubitsch, if you can make Garbo laugh, you can make me cry. Well, I can do drama. Gee, I made a picture once called College Holiday. I didn't get one laugh in it. Now what do you say?
I'm glad I didn't see it.
Very funny. Now, Mr. Lubitsch, let's not beat around the bush. I want a definite answer. Is it yes or no?
Brace yourself.
Now, Mr. Lubitsch, I know I haven't given you enough time to think this over, so I'll call you back later.
Now, wait a minute, Jack. There is no use taking up each other's time. Basil Rathbun is playing opposite to that Colbert, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Well, why can't we make it a triangle? Why can't he be her husband and I her lover?
Who would believe that?
Plenty of people. It can be worked out, don't worry.
Now, well, Jack, I'm very busy right now. Call up Miss Colbert, and if it's all right with her, it's okay with me.
Thank you, I'll do that. Oh, what's Miss Colbert's telephone number?
Ulrich!
Never mind, I'll get it myself. Goodbye. Some director really tries to get me in a picture sometime. Oh, well. Now, let's see. Colbert. Oh, Miss Colbert isn't home right now, eh? Do you know where I can reach her?
You might telephone Westmore's Beauty Parlor in Hollywood. I'm quite sure you can get her there.
Thank you very much. Goodbye. Hello, Westmore Brothers? This is Jack Benny.
Sorry, Mr. Benny, your toupee isn't ready yet.
I don't want my toupee. I'd like to speak to Claudette Colbert. Is she there?
I don't know. Hey, Wally, is Claudette Colbert here?
I don't know. Hey, Purse, is Claudette Colbert here? I don't know. Hey, say!
Never mind. Let it go. I'll wait till she gets home. Hello? I'd like to speak to Miss Colbert, please.
This is Miss Colbert speaking.
Oh, hello, Claudette. Guess who this is?
Well, really, I haven't the slightest idea.
Oh, come on, yes.
Oh, now, look.
Look, Claudette. Who has the dressing room next to yours at Paramount?
Oh, hello, Dorothy.
Dorothy, I'm not L'Amour. Look, Dorothy's dressing room is on one side of you. Now, who's on the other side?
That's a washroom.
Only part of it. Claudette, look, this is Jack Benny.
Oh, hello, Jack.
Hello.
Look, Jack, I haven't decided yet about those Christmas cards, but if you'll call a little later.
It's not the Christmas cards. There's no rush on them. Listen, Claudette, I called you up to tell you that I saw Boomtown the other night, and I want to congratulate you on your grand performance.
Oh, thanks, Jack.
You were really marvelous. I thought your characterization, your sincerity, and your emotional qualities in Boomtown surpassed anything I have ever seen on the screen.
Well, that's more oil than there was in the picture.
No, I'm serious, Claudette. It was a great performance. Now, let's see. There was something else I wanted to speak to you about. Oh, yes. Yeah, look, Claudette. Mr. Lubitsch suggested I call you about the golf show next Sunday.
Yes?
Have you any objection to my playing the part of your husband in the sketch?
Oh, well, I understood Basil Rathbun was playing the part.
Well, he was scheduled to, but if you want me, all you've got to do is speak up. I said, all you've got to do is speak up. Claudette, are you there?
Yes.
Oh. I wish you'd think this over, because it would really be a wonderful break for both of us.
Especially me.
Well, I wouldn't say that. let's say it'll do us both a lot of good, shall we?
Would you mind hanging up?
Now, wait a minute, Claudette. How about the idea?
Honestly, Jack, I really have nothing to do with it. Why don't you call Edward Arnold president of the Screen Actors Guild?
He won't be next year. I can't call him, and it's up to you. Now, look, Claudette, I've got another idea. Why can't I...
Will you please deposit 5 cents for an additional 3 minutes?
3 minutes already? Just a second. Would you mind dropping a nickel in, Claudette?
Jack, I don't have a payphone in my house.
Oh, well, that's right. What am I thinking of?
Do I get that nickel or do I have to cut you off?
Now, don't get excited. Here, I found one. There. No more 3 minutes from the man in the moon. Doesn't seem like we've been talking for 3 minutes, does it, Claudette?
You ought to be on this end.
Well, to come to the point, Claudette, here's what I was going to ask you. When do you start rehearsing for the play?
Tomorrow night at my house, but, Jack, I don't think you
At your house, eh? What time?
8 o'clock, but really, Jack, I don't think
8
you ought
o'clock.
to...
Well, thanks, Claudette. See you tomorrow night. I'll read the part, and Rathbone will read the part, and may the best man win. That's fair enough, isn't it?
Kind of sticking your chin out, aren't you, Junior?
We'll see. Well, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, by the way, Claudette, shall I come for dinner? Oh, well, some other time.
While Jack is on his way to Claudette Colbert's house, here's Frank Tours conducting Oscar Bradley's Gulf Orchestra in the Continental, Frank's own special arrangement. Anyway, Bud, the next night, about 7:30, Jack showed up at Claudette Colbert's house. I wasn't there, of course, but the way I understand it, when Jack arrived, Miss Colbert was still having dinner. So the butler opened the door and...
Right this way, Mr. Benny. I'll show you into the drawing room.
Well, thanks.
Mr. Rathbone is here already.
Oh, he is? One of those anxious guys, eh? Say, this is a lovely home. Lovely.
May I take your umbrella, Mr. Benny?
Oh, yes. I should have left it out in the hall. You know, it looked like rain. Well, Mr. Rathbone. I'm Jack Benny, the movie star.
How do you do?
How do you do? So the two rivals meet, eh?
Rivals? What do you mean?
Well, perhaps I should let Claudette tell you, but it looks like I'm taking your place on the Gulf Show next Sunday.
Oh, that's ridiculous, old boy.
Oh, no, it isn't. You see, at rehearsal tonight, you and I are both going to read the part, and of course, the best man will win.
The best man?
Yes.
Mr. Benny, when only two people are involved in a statement, the comparative is used. You don't say the best man will win. You say the better man will win.
Oh.
Now, if three or more people are involved, then the word best is the correct adjective.
I see.
So before we compete for this part, Mr. Benny, it might be as well if you first learned how to speak English.
Well, thanks for the lesson, Madam Lazanga. For your information, Mr. Rathbone, I went to Waukegan High School 4 years, and I excelled in English. In fact, I got 99 every single term.
Ain't that interesting?
And getting back to the subject, the way the script is written now, you play the part of Miss Colbert's husband. Is that correct?
That's correct and final.
That remains to be seen. I've heard of sore losers in my life, but this guy certainly takes the cake.
Step right in here, Mr. Lubitsch. Miss Colbert will be with you shortly.
Thank you. Oh, hello, Barson.
Ernst, old boy, how are you?
Fine.
Hello, Mr. Lubitsch.
What are you doing here?
Well, I thought I'd just drop around to see.
Now, listen, Ernst. I don't know what this is all about. I demand an explanation.
Look, Mr. Rathbone.
Explanation?
Look, Mr. Lubitsch.
I thought I was to appear opposite Miss Colbert.
Look, Mr. Rathbone.
Of course you were.
Look, Mr. Lubitsch.
Then what is all this about?
Look, Mr. Rathbone. Now look!
Mr. Benny, when I spoke to you on the telephone, I thought I made it perfectly clear that...
Good evening, everybody.
Oh, look, here's Claudette.
Hello, Claudette. Yeah.
Well, here we are.
Put the coffee down here, Richard.
Yes, madame.
Any else, Mr. Lubitsch?
No, thank you.
Coffee, Dazzle?
Yes, please, yeah.
I'll have some, too.
Oh, here you are, Jag.
Thank you. Gee, Claudette, this is the better coffee I ever tasted.
Mr. Benny.
Yes?
The word is best.
There are only 2 of us drinking it. Make up your mind. Well, we're all here, so let's get started with the rehearsal.
Just one moment. Ernst, let's get this settled for Mr. Benny's benefit, shall we? Is he or is he not replacing me in the play?
Certainly not. That's ridiculous.
Of course it's ridiculous.
Why, it's absurd.
You stay out of this. The butler yet.
Then, Mr. Benny, I'd like to know why you said that Mr. Lubitsch recommended the change.
I didn't say that. I said that Miss Colbert suggested it.
I suggested nothing of the kind.
But Claudette...
Please, stop all this bickering. Now, Jack, if you like to watch the rehearsal, take a chair and be quiet.
Yes, sir. Oh, Claudette, is it all right if I have some of these walnuts here?
Go right ahead. Help yourself, Jack.
Thank you. Big one.
Now, Claudette, you too, Basil. If you both turn to page 12 in the script, we will proceed.
Boy, these nuts are good.
Now, Claudette, you are a wealthy society girl who is married to a New York stockbroker. That's you, Basil. But he does not love you, Claudette. And as the French say, it is a marriage of convenience.
Gee, that was a tough one.
Mr. Benny, will you stop eating those nuts?
Well, Claudette said I could. Anyway, Mr. Lubitsch, I don't want to sit around here like a bump on a log. If I can't have the lead in the play, isn't there something I can do?
All right. If it makes you happy, you can play the part of the butler.
The butler? Okay.
Here's your script.
Thanks.
Now remember, Claudette, you're the wife. Basil, you are the husband who doesn't understand her. And Jack?
I'm the butler whom Claudette really loves.
You are the butler, that's all.
Okay. Heavens to Betsy.
All right, Claudette, now we start the scene. Remember, your husband is 2 hours late for dinner, and you are a nervous wreck.
Yes, Mr. Lubitsch, I understand.
Go ahead, call the butler.
Yes. Oh, Smedley.
Yes, madame. Smedley, yes. What is it, madame?
Are you sure my husband hasn't phoned?
No, madame.
But I can't understand it. What time is it, Smedley?
It's 8:30. Shall I serve dinner, madame?
No, Smedley, I'm much too upset to eat. I think I'll go to a movie. What's playing in the village?
Buck Benny Rides Again.
That's not in the script. Read the lines, please.
Well, it doesn't hurt to give my picture a plug. It doesn't change the plot any, does it? For heaven's sake.
Read the way it's written.
All right. Give me that again, Claudette.
Okay. No, Smedley, I'm much too upset to eat. I think I'll go to a movie. What's playing in the village?
Ninotchka. How's that?
Much better.
And Buck Benny rides again. It's a double feature. Yeah.
Jack, please.
All right, I'll start over again. Shall I serve dinner, madame?
No, Smedley. I'm much too upset to eat. I think I'll go to a movie. It's Boomtown playing in the village.
Well, we got them all in.
Very good, Claudette. Now, at this point, the husband enters the room.
Not ready, Ed.
Oh, Mr. Lubitsch, let me ask you something. When Basil comes in, or Basil, by the way, how do you pronounce that? Basil or Basil?
Mr. Rathbone.
Oh. Well, when Mr. Rathbone comes in...
Oh, just read the lines, Jack. I handle the rest.
All right. A fine director.
What did you say?
I said you're a fine director. I think you're wonderful.
Ready, Basil. Make your entrance.
Righto. Oh, good evening, darling. So sorry I'm late.
Oh, Ronald, you're always late and you're always sorry. It's been like this for months. What's come between us? If I only knew, maybe we could work things out.
It's nothing, my dear. It's just that I've been so busy lately at the office. Let's forget it.
Dinner is served. Oh, pardon me, I'm too soon.
Ronald, I can't forget it. We must come to some understanding. This can't go on forever.
Gwen, let's be adult about the whole thing, shall we? Every night it's the same argument, this constant nagging. I tell you, I've been working at the office.
But I phoned your office and they said you left at 2 this afternoon.
Well, I have business at the bank. And besides, I forgot where I parked my car.
Fine Sherlock Holmes can't even find his car.
Jack, stop interrupting, please.
Right.
Continue, Claudette.
Oh, it's no use, Ronald. I know you're lying. Look at you. Everything you say, everything you do gives you away.
Now, Gwen.
What's that on your collar? Is it lipstick?
It ain't ketchup.
Jack, please.
Well, I don't want to stand around here like a dope.
But you got the line right now. Say it.
Oh, yes. Beg pardon, madame. The dinner is served.
Jack, don't use such a thick accent.
You should talk. Beg pardon, madame. Dinner is served.
Now, Jack, don't be so highbrow.
All right, the soup's on. Come and get it. I don't know how Garbo put up with him.
What's that about Garbo?
Nothing. I can have her on my mind, can't I? Gee.
All right, let's have that line again.
Beg pardon, madame. Dinner is served. Take it or leave it.
Dinner. Come along, Gwen.
No, we're not having dinner, Ronald. Not until we've reached a definite understanding.
Well, I'm hungry.
Ronald, I can't go through another day of this uncertainty. I must know. Do you love me or not?
Of course I love you.
You're lying, Ronald. Lying.
Very well, then I'm lying.
Gee.
You might as well know the truth, Gwen. I've never loved you, never.
That must be crazy.
If you weren't so stupid, you'd have known it long ago.
Ronald, what are you saying?
Gee.
I married you for your money, that's all. Everybody else knew it. If you weren't such a blind, silly little fool, you'd have realized it yourself.
Ronald, stop.
Well, Gwen, now you know how things stand, and the sooner you give me a divorce, the happier I'll be.
No, I'll never divorce you, Ronald. I couldn't live without you. I couldn't.
Tears, woman's tears. Oh, stop the dramatic.
Ronald!
I'm moving to my club. Smedley, pack my clothes.
I wouldn't touch your dirty clothes.
The lines. You are servant.
I don't care. Gee.
Continue, Basil.
Well, goodbye, Gwen. I'm going to the club. Our attorneys can get together tomorrow.
Don't go, Ronald. Please don't go.
Stop hanging on to me.
No, I won't give you up. I won't.
Stop it, I say. Let go of me.
No.
Then take that.
That's the last straw. Take off your coat, Rathbone.
Jack, that's only a play.
Ain't nothing. Put those dukes, Basil. Put them up. Oh, so I'm an old man now, eh? Why?
Jack, Jack, if you don't behave yourself, you can't be in the play.
The heck with the play. If you think I'm going to stand by and see this cad strike the woman I love.
The woman you love?
Yes, Claudette. You might as well know it now. I've been crazy about you for years.
Jack, please.
I don't care who knows it. I don't care if the whole world knows it. I love you, Claudette. And that's why I was carried away. I'd give anything to be in a play with you, but I'm afraid I can't go through with it. Goodbye, gentlemen. Goodbye, my love.
My goodness, I barely know the man.
I'll take it, Bud. Hello. Roger Pryor speaking.
Hello, Roger. This is Jack Benny.
Who?
Jack Benny, the little man who wasn't there.
Oh, Jack, what's on your mind?
Well, I've been listening to the broadcast, and that's not the way it happened at all. The reason I'm not on that show tonight is because Mr. Lubitsch is a pal of Rathbone. It's just politics.
What Mr. Lubitsch said?
I don't care what he said. And incidentally, I'd like to talk to him. Put him on the phone.
Well, I'll see if I can get him, Jack. Hold on a minute, will you? Say, Bud, Jack Benny's on the phone. Keep him happy while I find Lubitsch for him. Okay.
Hello, Jack. How are you?
Hello, Mr. Lubitsch. Where's your dialect?
This is Bud Heaston, Jack.
Oh.
Say, is it true that you're getting a new car?
Look, Bud, I'd like to
Because
speak...
if you are, I'd advise you to use Gulf's new stepped-up gasoline. Either Good Gulf or Gulf No-Knox. You'll find them fully worthy of the finest modern cars.
Oh, is that so?
Yes, and if you don't get a new car, if you keep your old your Maxwell, you'll find that the new Gulf gasolines will give you more pickup, more power, more of that new car feeling.
Now, look, if Mr. Lubitsch...
In fact, I'd like to urge everybody to stop at the sign of the Gulf Orange Disc and fill up with Good Gulf or with Gulf No-Knox, America's two great stepped-up gasolines.
I see. Now, Bud, about Mr. Lubitsch, I'd like to...
Deposit 5 cents for an additional 3 minutes, please.
What?
Oh, hold on, Jack. Here comes Mr. Lubitsch now.
Let it go. I'll send him a postcard. Goodbye.
Thank you, Claudette Colbert, Jack Benny, Basil Rathbone, Edward Arnold, and Ernst Lubitsch. And thanks to Bill Morrow and Ed Beloin for your great script. It was a swell show and for a really great cause. Of course, you know, ladies and gentlemen, that the money Gulf would ordinarily give to the stars who appear here goes instead to the Motion Picture Relief Fund, to care for those in the picture industry who can no longer provide for themselves. Next Sunday night, ladies and gentlemen, the Star's Own Theater brings you Gene Arthur, Jeffrey Lynn, and Walter Pidgeon in Jezebel, with music by Oscar Bradley's Gulf Orchestra with Frank Tours conducting. Until then, this is Roger Pryor speaking for your neighborhood Good Gulf dealer and reminding you that we have a date next week at the same time. Listen in, won't you?
Don't be left in the cold this winter. Sign a Gulf furnace oil contract now. Get reliable delivery and price protection. Phone your nearest Gulf office or Gulf furnace oil dealer. Basil Rathbone is heard on the Sherlock Holmes program every Sunday night and may be currently seen in the 20th Century Fox picture, The Californian. Jack Benny will soon be seen in Paramount's Love Thy Neighbor. Claudette Colbert's latest for Paramount is Arise, My Love, soon to be released. This is the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Dennis Day is brought to you by Colgate Dental Cream and Luster Cream Shampoo. Colgate Dental Cream to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. Luster Cream Shampoo for soft, glamorous dream girl hair. The Dennis Day Show with Barbara Eiler, B. Benaderet, Dink Trop, John Brown, Charles Dant in the orchestra, and yours truly, Vern Smith, is written by Frank Galen and stars our popular young singer in A Day in the Life of Dennis Day. Here's Dennis to sing I'll Dance at Your Wedding.
You'll soon be walking down the aisle with someone by your side. The bells will ring, the choir will sing, the groom will kiss the bride. Oh, what a day that's gonna be. They'll come from everywhere. And when they play, oh, promise me, I promise I'll be there. I'll dance at your wedding. I'll dance at your wedding. I'll dance at your wedding. I'll have a wonderful time. I'll drink to your father. I'll drink to your mother. Then I'll have another for a whole lang syne. I'll kiss all the ladies, the young and old, and then I'll have myself another drink and kiss them all again. I'll dance at your wedding. I won't miss that wedding. I'll dance at your wedding. Am I gonna shine at your wedding and mine? I'll drink to your father. I'll drink to your mother. Then I'll have another for a whole lang syne. I'll kiss all the ladies, the young and old, and then I'll have myself another drink and kiss them all again. I'll dance at your wedding. I won't miss that wedding. I'll dance at your wedding. Am I gonna shine at your wedding and mine?
Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. No other toothpaste does a better job of cleaning teeth than Colgate Dental Cream. For Colgate Dental Cream has a safe polishing agent that cleans your teeth both gently and thoroughly, brings out their natural sparkle and beauty. You can actually see and feel the difference. And scientific tests prove that Colgate Dental Cream cleans your breath while it cleans your teeth. Yes, actual scientific tests prove conclusively that in 7 out of 10 cases, Colgate instantly stops unpleasing breath that originates in the mouth. Colgate Dental Cream is famous for its wonderful wake-up flavor, too. Nationwide tests of leading toothpastes prove that Colgate's is preferred for flavor over every other brand tested. Yes, preferred over every other brand tested. And no wonder, for Colgate Dental Cream is the result of constant effort to produce the finest toothpaste in the world today. For cleaning teeth, for flavor, for sweetening breath. So see if you don't agree with the millions who have made Colgate Dental Cream America's favorite toothpaste. Try Colgate Dental Cream to bring out the natural sparkle and beauty of your teeth. For a wake-up flavor you'll thoroughly enjoy. And always use Colgate Dental Cream after you eat and before every date to clean your breath while you clean your teeth. Well, one of the pleasant things about Christmas shopping is the pause for refreshment afterwards. And in Weaverville, the favorite spot for that is a recently opened little place featuring a gypsy fortune teller and called, with great originality, the Little Gypsy Tea Room. We find a familiar trio occupying one of the tables this afternoon. There's Herbert Anderson, his daughter Mildred, and our young hero, Dennis Day, all waiting for the gypsy to unveil to them the mysteries of the future.
Gee, it's sure swell of you to take Mildred and me out to tea, Mr. Anderson.
Oh, well, we only live once, my boy. I'm glad you're enjoying yourselves.
Oh, we are, Daddy. But how did you ever manage to get the money for it?
Well, I'm afraid I did something a little unethical. I promise you won't tell.
Oh, of course we won't. But what did you do?
I got up earlier than Poopsie this morning and went through my pants pockets.
Gee, I bet you hereafter she keeps the money in her own pants. Oh, I forgot they have no pockets.
I'm glad you did it, Daddy. Golly, I can't wait to hear our fortunes. Can you, Dennis?
Well, gosh, I don't know. I'm a little scared of what she'll tell me.
Well, why? Have you had your fortune told before?
Yeah, I dropped a penny in a scale one day, and a card came out saying, you weigh 153. Now turn over this card and read your future.
And what was on the back of the card?
Just one word. Boy.
Who believes in a silly sidewalk scale? Princess Romagna's a real gypsy. She knows the truth.
Look, she's free now, Dennis. Call her over.
Okay. You, Princess Romagna, over here, please.
How do you do? You are desirous of consulting with the gypsy?
Yes. We'd like our fortunes told, Princess.
Certainly, dearie. Would you like just your immediate future, or can I interest you in something from the cradle to the grave?
Well, whatever you see in our tea leaves.
All right. Let's have your cups, dearie. Oh, my, I seem to see a man in your life. Is that correct?
Oh, yes, it is.
He's dark, handsome, very distinguished looking, and terribly intelligent.
Oh, isn't she wonderful, Dennis?
What's so wonderful? She was looking right at me.
Tell me, Gypsy, are we going to be married someday?
Yeah. And look, do you see the 4 little specks of tea leaves at the side of the cup? That means you're going to have 4 children.
Pardon me, but one of those little specks is a fly.
Okay, so one of the children will be born in an aeroplane.
Oh, isn't that romantic? Now you, Daddy.
But I wasn't drinking tea, Mildred. All I had was a cup of coffee and a cigar.
Oh, that's okay. I do just as well with ashes. Flick a few toward Mecca.
No, I don't want to know my future. I'm content to just let my little poopsie push me toward it.
Well, okay. Let's have your cup, Sonny.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Here you are.
Thank you. Let's see now. Oh, my, what's this? The leaf says there's going to be a big change in your life.
Gosh, really?
Yeah, and soon. Maybe even this very day. Or tomorrow.
Oh, Dennis, isn't that marvelous?
Boy, I'll say. Are you sure, Gypsy?
Positive. Kismet is about to take a hint.
Gosh, and I never even met the fellow.
Kismet means fate, son.
Oh, can you see any more in the leaves, Gypsy? Can you tell me what I'm going to...
I'm sorry, but that is all the leaves reveal, Sonny. And now I have other customers, so if you'll kindly cross my palm.
Yes, of course, Gypsy. I have some silver right here to cross it with.
Silver? Look, let's get all the way across, shall we, with some of that stuff that bends?
Oh, yes. Well, here you are now. Thank you, Princess.
Shalom Aleichem, I'm sure. Bye.
Gosh, just think my whole life's going to be changed. I may even have a completely new personality, huh?
Well, it's possible, I guess.
Boy, come on. I can hardly wait for tonight to come so I can go to bed and wake up in the morning and meet myself.
Well, so you finally got home.
Oh, hi, Mother.
Oh, evening, Mrs. Anderson.
Hello, Butterball.
Oh, Mother, we had the most...
That can wait, Mildred. You and your father step outside for a moment. I have a few words to say to this young man here. Alone.
Me?
Yes, you.
We'll see you later, Dennis. Come on, Daddy.
Mildred, if Kismet shows up, send him right in. I think I'm going to need him.
Dennis, I'll come right to the point. Do you know that my patience with you is exhausted?
Well, I knew that in my case it tired very quickly, but what have I done lately?
Are you aware that your room rent is 2 weeks overdue?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I realized it last night when I noticed that my bed was missing.
Dennis, I've strung along with you in the past because I hoped you'd change.
Yes, ma'am, I know.
But look at you. The same $8 a week job. The same miserable prospects. The same lame excuses about the rent for 2 years. You're even wearing the same sweatshirt you wore the day you came here. Is there anything to recommend you?
Not unless you admire consistency.
Well, I don't. I want my $12 or out you go.
But gee, Mrs. Anderson, how can you feel that way? It's almost Christmas time. The very air in this house should be filled with the Christmas spirit.
Well,
I can breathe it for $12, huh?
Exactly. And you've heard my last word on the subject.
Well, so this is Kismet. Gee, I can't wait for the next wonderful change in my life. I wonder what it'll be. Appendicitis or athlete's foot?
That you, Dennis?
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Willoughby.
Good morning. I've been waiting for you, son. I have something to tell you. And it's rather big news, my boy.
Big news? You mean, is it something that will change my whole life, is it?
It's just that, my boy.
Kismet, at last, at last.
Huh?
Quick, what is it? Tell me the glorious news. Quick, quick, quick.
Well, starting Monday morning, you'll be out of a job.
Huh?
That's right. I'm selling the store, son, so of course I'll have to let you go.
How could that Kismet turn out to be such a stinker?
I'm sorry, son, but you know I've always wanted a ranch out west. And now that I've found a rich young sucker to buy the store, I can have one at last.
Oh, I see. Well, Mr. Willoughby, this new owner, couldn't you recommend that he keep me on here?
Dennis, he's a member of my lodge. I couldn't do that to a fellow bald eagle.
Oh.
Besides, he's giving me $8,000 for this place. That's enough of a beating.
Gosh, $8,000?
Yes, exactly the price of the ranch I'm buying. Of course, I did want another place at $12,000, but unfortunately the bank turned down my application for a loan.
Your credit is no good?
Well, as a storekeeper, yes, but not as a rancher. They said unless I had someone in with me who knew all about ranching, they... Hey.
What?
Son, how would you like to be my brother Clarence?
I think I'd hate it.
I mean just long enough to go over to the bank and tell them that you're my brother from out west. That you know all about cattle ranching and that you're going to run my place for me. Then they'll give me the money for the ranch I really want.
But, Mr. Willoughby, isn't that a little sneaky?
Certainly not. I'll pay back the loan. You think they call me Honest Homer Willoughby for nothing?
Yes, sir.
Well, they don't. Now, look, Dennis, if you can put this over for me, I'll see that the new owner keeps you on.
Gee, do you mean it?
I do. And what's more, you'll get a $5 raise.
$5? Boy, you spend other people's money like it was other people's money, don't you?
Well, naturally. Now, run over to that costume place and get yourself a Western outfit and a handlebar mustache. Then hop right down to the bank and get to work on Mr. Courtney, okay?
Yeah, I guess I haven't got much choice.
Fine. And remember, you're no longer Dennis Day.
I'm not?
Of course not. You're my brother Clarence.
Oh, that's right. Gee, I hope when Kismet comes up with my permanent change, I'll come from a better family.
Yes? Mr. Willoughby to see me? No, tell him I... Oh, his brother. All right, Miss Flood, have him come in. That's funny. I didn't know Willoughby had... Well, I suppose I might as well see him. Come in.
Howdy there, partner. I'm from the land of the Golden West, out way yonder there. Willoughby's my handle, Saddle Sore Willoughby of the B-Bar H.
You don't say.
I sure do, partner. What say we hunker down by the fire and palaver a spell, hey?
Well, I have no fire, but you can hunker down in that chair if you care. I'm sure you'll find it comfortable.
Thank you. You're right. This is darn good hunkering.
Good. Now, what's on your mind, Mr. Willoughby?
Well, it's about my brother Homer's loan, partner. Guess he didn't tell you I was going to run his ranch for him, hey?
He never even told me he had a brother, much less one that knew ranching. Why didn't he say something about it yesterday?
Settle back, son. I'm ready for that one. You see, he never knew until today that he had a brother.
What? Weren't you raised together?
Sure, but you know how close-mouthed us Western folks are. Ma just never told him who I was.
Didn't it ever occur to him to ask her?
Us Willoughbys ain't the nosy kind, Bob.
I find that story very hard to believe, Mr. Willoughby.
Well, give it everything you got, partner. It's the best I can do.
So you claim to be an experienced cattle rancher, eh?
You bet. Been a raising and a selling cattle since I was born. My pa had the biggest cattle ranch in all of Wyoming.
Oh? How many head did he have?
Why, one, of course, same as me.
I'm talking about heads of cattle.
Oh.
How many did he sell in an average year?
Oh, he didn't sell them that way, son. You had to take the whole animal, feet and everything.
Saddle sore. When we speak of a head of cattle, we're talking about the entire animal.
You don't say.
It's a fact. Now, how many head of cattle did your father have on this ranch of his?
Oh, shucks, partner. I never could count them. We had about 1,000 cows and as many calves.
And how many bulls?
None. We figured bulls was too vicious, so all we had was cows.
Well, that's not a bad trick if you can work it.
Huh?
No, but I don't think you can. No, brother, are you a faker?
Hold on there, partner. Smile when you say that, or I'll stick you good with my cowpoke.
With your cowpoke? Oh, this is murder.
I said smile, partner. I didn't tell you to milk it.
You're wonderful, friend. You really are. Now, will you be good enough to tell me what this is all about?
Well, to tell the truth, Mr. Courtney, I'm Dennis Day, see?
Well, by George, so you are. That mustache.
Yes, sir. It was Mr. Willoughby's idea. See, he's pretty desperate for that loan, and he thought if I can...
excuse me. Yes? My wife's nephew. Confound my wife's nephew. Tell him I'm out. Tell him I'm busy. Tell him I'll see him tonight at the house. My wife's relatives, every time I draw a breath, there's more of them on my neck. Her mother in one room, her sister in another, and her two cousins in a third.
Gee.
A man's home is supposed to be his castle. You know what my wife has done to mine?
It looks like she's lowered the drawbridge too often.
Yes, and now her nephew and his wife. And this morning he asked me to recommend an obstetrician. You know what that means?
No, sir.
An obstetrician is a baby doctor.
Gee, maybe they're going to have, if you'll pardon the expression, a baby.
Of course they are, drat it. But why do they have to come here and live with me? Oh, what I wouldn't give if they'd move to another town.
Yeah, I guess you... Hey, what would you give?
Huh?
Well, supposing I went to this nephew of yours and told him I was the doctor you recommended. If I could convince him that Weaverville was a terrible place to have babies, he'd move, wouldn't he?
Why, by golly, young man, you have brains.
It does seem that way for the moment, doesn't it?
Yes, and you're right. He would move, but fast.
Sure. And as a return favor, you'd agree to loan Mr. Willoughby and me $4,012 in cash.
Well, why the $12?
Well, it's sort of a down payment. I'd like to lie down again. Is it a deal?
Well, all right, I guess so. Here's my nephew's address. His name is Prince. Now, don't forget, you're a baby doctor.
Okay. Gee, first a store clerk, then a rancher, then a baby doctor. That Kismet sure is a busy little guy.
Yes, did you wish to see someone?
How do you do? I am Dr. Rittenhouse Weizkopf und Fu, Himmelschlager from way down Dorten there in Vienna der Dorten, if you please.
Oh, you must be the doctor my uncle recommended.
The very same. Now, I understand that, or rather your wife, the both of you are...
We're expecting a baby.
I'm almost certain that's what you'll get.
I hope so.
Now then, where are you planning to raise this baby?
Where? Why, right here, of course.
In Weaverville?
Why, sure.
Ach, du lieber, hach mir nicht kein Scheine.
I don't understand, Doc. Is there something wrong with that?
My dear friend, you want a fine bouncing baby, is that not so?
That's not possible here.
In Weaverville, they are just lying flat.
Golly.
I'm telling you, we got diseases here no one else ever even heard of. Did you ever hear of the Weaverville creep?
The Weaverville creep?
Every kid in Weaverville gets it.
My gosh, what is it? What does it do to them?
For a year after they're born, they can't walk. No, not only that, but when they get to be about 8 years old, all their teeth fall out. It could go on forever, but maybe you'd rather not hear it. Maybe you've already decided to move your little family away from here, yeah?
Well, no.
In that case, I continue. Now, suppose that you are a very lucky man who manages to bring up a baby who is healthy. You realize that in this town also grow the meanest kids in ganze Welt bestoppen sie Reifen verloren.
All the kids are mean?
Every single one of them. We gotta spank them the minute they're born.
My goodness.
And the delinquency here. 95% of the children in this town are juvenile delinquents, and the other 5% shoot pool.
Doesn't the town council do anything about all this juvenile delinquency?
Town council? Why should they worry? They're too busy putting through laws to make it illegal to put anything but saloons on street corners.
But what about the drugstores?
They have all been forced to go underground.
But suppose someone was sick and needed medicine in the middle of the night.
They would have to eat pretzels with it.
I'm beginning to wonder now if this is the right town to raise my baby in.
It's about time. My boat was getting pretty near shut.
You know, Doc, I think you're right. Gwendolyn and I are packing tonight. We're leaving this town the first thing in the morning.
Good. Say, did I tell you how much calcium we got in the water here? Every kid in town is a bonehead. You better leave.
I already said we were going to.
Oh, yeah, I know, but I already had that line thought up, so I figured I might as well say it. Well, Auf Wiedersehen, Rumka. Mr. Willoughby, Kismet, I did it, Kismet. What? You're in, Mr. Willoughby, and all because of me. Oh, I'm grand, I tell you, grand. Dennis! You may kiss me on the cheek if you wish. Kiss you? Sure, pretend you're a Frenchman. Go ahead, have fun.
Now look, Dennis.
Oh, I know. You haven't heard from Mr. Courtney yet. But wait till I tell you the news. You'll cheer.
What news?
Well, I've gotten you the loan for that ranch you wanted. This is a cheer.
Dennis, maybe it's you who should hear the news. You see, my buyer backed out. He phoned a little while ago to tell me the deal was off, and he was coming back to pick up his deposit.
Oh, my gosh. Then that means I'm still your employee?
Don't rub it in. It's tough on both of us.
And what about my $5 raise? Now, there's a silly question if I ever heard one.
Yeah. Well, it's too bad it blew up like this, Dennis, but I don't... Uh-oh, here comes that ex-buyer of mine.
Mr. Willoughby, not that fellow crossing the sidewalk. It can't be.
What? Why, of course it is.
Oh, no, Kismet, no.
Hello, Mr. Willoughby. Here I am for my deposit. Oh, hello, Doc.
Wie geht's?
Doc? Who are you calling Doc?
Why, this gentleman right here. He's the one who advised me to leave town.
What?
Oh, sure. And luckily I found a store in Middletown I like even better than...
Why, you?
Mr. Willoughby, no. Be careful. Your blood vessels will spring leaks.
Dennis, say when I'm through with you, your own mother won't recognize you.
Holy smoke. Is this the change I've been waiting for? If I ever get my hands on that Kismet, I'll murder the bum.
Dennis Day will be back in just 1 minute to sing And Mimi. But first...
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl, hair that gleams and glistens from a luster cream shampoo, hair bright, washed right, easy to do and dress right, hair that's soft and silky from a luster cream shampoo.
Yes, Luster Cream Shampoo leaves hair with new three-way loveliness, fragrantly clean, glistening with sheen, soft and easy to manage. Be a dream girl, a lovely Luster Cream girl.
Dream girl, beautiful luster cream girl, you owe your crowning glory to a luster cream shampoo.
With Charles Dant in the orchestra, Dennis returns to our microphone to sing And Mimi.
On the Rue de la Faye, there was once a cabaret, and Mimi. As the night went along, there was suddenly a song, and Mimi. All the world seemed to say that they love the cabaret and Mimi. But I knew that when she'd see me, Mimi sang for me all alone. Came and a passion for dancing with the one that I adore. For her the dance is passion, and for me she's singing no more. On the Rue de la Faye, there was once a cabaret, and Mimi. Now I'm sitting sad and dreamy, for Mimi and her song. Came and a with a passion for dancing with the one that I adore. For her the dance in its passion, and for me she's singing alone. There was once a cabaret, and me. Now I'm sitting sad and dreamy, just for Mimi and her
Remember, doctors prove the Palmolive plan brings 2 out of 3 women lovelier complexions in 14 days. And this beauty plan with Palmolive soap was tested on women with all types of skin. Dry, oily, even skin that was not clear. Yes, 36 doctors proved the 14-day Palmolive plan improves all types of skin. Brings fresher, brighter, younger-looking complexions. So get Palmolive soap and start your 14-day Palmolive plan now.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company. The Jaws of Schlitz Brewing Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, presents The Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman.
I was curious. I tasted it. Now I know why Schlitz is the largest selling beer in America. No wonder it's the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
Good beer, you'll find it pays to be curious and learn about Schlitz for yourself. And now, the Halls of Ivy. The halls of ivy that surround us here today, and we will not forget though we be welcome again to Ivy College, that is, in the town of Ivy, USA. It's a quiet day, a day of contentment, if not fulfillment. Even the flies muffle their buzz in respect to the general repose. But judge not according to the appearance. In a dormitory, two students cramming for a final examination in calculus are engaged in a hot contest of canasta. A professor of philosophy has just scalded his throat with a boiling cup of tea. And in the tranquil home of Ivy's president, Dr. William Todhunter Hall, his wife Victoria, erstwhile leading actress of the London stage, is pacing the floor as though waiting for a first night curtain.
Toddy, is that you?
Hello, darling. Am I late?
No, but I just couldn't wait for you to get back today.
Well, why today more than any other day?
Because I have something for you that I think you wanted for a long time.
Has there ever been a moment that you haven't had everything I've wanted for a long time?
Yeah, here you are. For Dr. Hall, with the compliments of Mrs. Hall.
Oh?
Well, go on. Unwrap it.
First, I'd like to make a little speech about how my gratitude runneth over.
You open it. Do open it.
No. Yes. It looks like it's... and it is a book. Vicky.
You're welcome, Toddy.
Oh, but Vicky, how in the world... John Donne.
Is it really the first edition? I wasn't too sure.
Yes, it's the quarto. Look. Here we are. Look. Poems by J.D. with elegies on the author's death. London. Printed by M.F. for John Marriott and are to be sold at his shop in St. Dunstan's Churchyard in Fleet Street, 1633.
Yeah, it's what you wanted.
Oh, Vicky, my angel. I've been searching for this slim little treasure for some 15 years. I've accumulated enough dust from bookshelves both sides of the Atlantic to fill up the Pacific. I've ransacked every seductive cellar and attic, from the Hebrides to Halifax, and you... where in the world did you find it?
I don't think that's a fair question.
Why not?
Don't you know, darling, that every woman must have at least one secret to be a woman?
It's a hangover book. I see. So it's none of my business. All right. Wheresoever, howsoever, and howsoever much I will thankfully receive. Forgive me, my darling. I haven't even kissed you for it. I'm entirely and everlastingly indebted. Again, and again, and again.
Ooh, Toddy, roll that for just one little book. For Christmas, I'll give you Dr. Eliot's 5-foot shelf.
Well, there's more where that came from, but... Vicky, wait. Look, where's the poem I want? You know, it's somewhere near the... here it is. Yeah, do you remember? The Good Morrow. I wonder by my troth what thou and I did till we loved. Were we not weaned... Unquestionably someone who hates love and poetry. Well, we did dispose of him in short order. Excuse me, darling. Hello, Dr. Hall speaking.
Hello, Doctor. This is Merriweather.
Oh, it's nice to hear from you, Mr. Merriweather.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry to bother you, but I thought you should know that Clarence Wellman's in a tizzy again.
Again? Well, that's a chronic condition, isn't it?
Well, it's nothing that concerns you, Doctor, but whenever there's trouble, leave it to Clarence to tie it on your front steps. His bomb sight is permanently focused on your doorknob.
What now?
His cousin, George Maypole.
You and the rest of the board appointed him college librarian. I wash my hands of it with a good, strong soap.
Yeah, well, it really isn't Maypole.
Well, then, who is it and what is it?
Wellman says that there's a criminal rampant on the campus.
Well, in the first place, Mr. Wellman doesn't know the word rampant. And if he does, I'm sure he thinks they're trousers for lamb chops. Secondly, what has that got to do with Maypole? Or do you mean that Maypole is running rampant?
Well, it could be, Doctor. It could be. Well, it seems a brand new old book is missing from the library.
Oh.
According to Maypole, as reported by Wellman, this book is worth a lot of money. The college library got it with a new Breckenridge donation. Hasn't even been cataloged yet. Wellman threatening to send for J. Edgar Hoover.
Mr. Merriweather, do you know the title?
Well, hasn't got it. He doesn't know a book of poems.
Well, the name of the author?
He couldn't have thought much of his stuff. He just signed his initials, J.D. Did Rockefeller ever write any poetry? Are you still there, Doctor?
Yes. I'm here, and then again, I'm not quite sure.
Well, I don't see how Wellman can possibly pin this on you, but I just wanted to let you know. Don't let him worry you, Doctor.
Oh, I'm not worrying about Wellman.
Good.
Oh, thanks. Thanks very much, Mr. Merriweather. Goodbye. Victoria, in the first surge of excitement, I may have misunderstood you. You just brought me this book to look over. Was that it?
Well, no, silly darling, it's yours. I bought it just for you.
Yes, I understand. That is, I didn't misunderstand. You did buy this book?
Well, of course I bought it. I told you that. Well, are you bothered because I didn't tell you what I paid for it?
Well, it would help to know.
Well, then, I paid exactly 50 cents for it.
Ouch.
Well, what's the matter with that? Isn't it good?
Oh, good. My dear Mrs. Hall, the last list price on this rare and precious volume was $1,450. Why, Vicky, that's the first time I ever heard you whistle.
For $1,450, I just learned how.
Where did you get this remarkable bargain?
At the campus bookshop on the remainder table.
Would you mind if I called them?
Well, sure, should I?
Campus bookshop. Epsom speaking.
This is Dr. Hall.
Oh, good afternoon, Dr. Hall. May I help you?
I hope so. I'm calling in reference to a first edition of poems by John Donne.
Oh, my gosh. Pardon me, Dr. Hall, but that's all I've been hearing all day. Between Mr. Wellman and the maypole, you think I stole that book. They've been on the phone every 5 minutes since noon. Now they're even threatening to search my shop.
I see. Then you've never had it in your store?
Oh, heavens, no. Not that I wouldn't have loved it for myself. And I know how much you've always wanted, Dr. Hall.
Yes, I have.
Oh, you must feel very badly about all this.
Yes, I do.
Well, for your sake, I hope they find the book.
For my sake? Oh, yes. Well, thank you very much, Miss Remsen. Goodbye.
I did buy it there, Toddy, no matter what he said. I bought it there this morning.
Yes, of course you did, my dear.
Now, look, darling, I'm not a child, so you might just as well tell me what's going on. It all started with that telephone call from Mr. Merriweather, didn't it? Well, come on, Toddy, come on, I can take it.
By a remarkable coincidence, a rare book has disappeared from the Ivy Library.
Oh. A first edition of poems by John Donne, which I bought at the campus bookshop today, only they never had it?
That is approximately the situation. You must face the truth, Vicky. This is a hot book.
Well, does that make me an accessory after the fact or something?
If you are an accessory, my dear, you're the most indispensable one since the self-starter.
You would defend me, I know.
But you remember who sold you the book?
I don't know his name. It was a young boy. He must be new at the bookstore. I don't think I've ever seen him there before.
Well, by some agency, whether natural or supernatural, this book was transported from the library to the bookshop where you found it. And we'll have to return it at once. At once. And with an apologetic footnote to the good Dr. Dunn. Seek not to learn for whom the cash register tolls, Doctor. It tolls for thee.
I was curious. I tasted it. Now I know why Schlitz is the largest selling beer in America. No wonder it's the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
We'll return to the halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman in just a moment. But first, let's hear how one man turned an idle moment into an ideal experience.
Well, I'm a member of that large fraternity, the Tired Businessmen of America. It's not a club anybody can get in, although there are certain qualifications. Take mine. I've worked hard all my life, haven't had a vacation in 5 years. And my wife keeps telling me I don't know how to take it easy. And she's right, of course. Or at least she was. Things have been different the last few weeks. Lately, when I get home from the shop, I've been finding a bottle of Schlitz beer next to my favorite chair. That's the little woman's subtle way of getting me to slow down. And by George, it works, too. I remember the first night she put out the Schlitz beer for me. I came home after a pretty rugged day with everybody wanting their orders at once and 4 of my men home ill. I was dead tired, and you don't know how good that bottle of Schlitz looked to me right then. I sat down in the chair, kicked off my shoes, and put on my slippers, and then poured myself a tall glass with a good collar on it. I took a man-sized swallow and then leaned back and let that fine Schlitz flavor roll around on my tongue. Well, if I hadn't known that Schlitz was the largest selling beer in America, I'd have known that it deserved to be. And by the way, if you want to see a picture of a man who knows how to ease up and enjoy himself, drop around my place before dinner some evening. I'll be sitting there with my bottle of Schlitz. There'll be one for you. And you can join me in saying, no wonder they call Schlitz the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
We find them preparing regretfully to return their precious first edition to its rightful owner, the Ivy College Library.
Toddy, the binding's falling apart. We could take it back page by page.
No, darling. All or nothing. Just blindfold me, tie my hands and arms, tuck John Dunn under my elbow, and we'll be on our way.
Shall I untie you so you can answer the door, dear?
Oh, no, you remain seated, Mrs. Hall, just in case it's Wellman.
I could swallow the evidence leaf by leaf.
$1,450 worth, A rich dish. Come in.
Good afternoon, Dr. Hall. I'd like to talk to Mrs. Hall for just a minute. It's terribly important.
Oh, you sound important, Mr.
I'm Tucker Mill, sir. I'm a freshman.
I'd never have guessed this. Come in, Tucker. Vicky, Mr. Tucker Mills to see you.
Oh, why, William, this is the boy in the bookshop.
Please, Mrs. Hall, could I speak to you privately? I mean, personally, on business?
I would have to be obtuser than I am not to perceive and act upon a hint as broad as that.
Please excuse us, William.
I'll take a long stroll into my study. I want to look up a word, obtuser, as a comparative adjective.
Mrs. Hall, do you remember you bought a book from me this morning?
Indeed, I do.
I'll give you $1 for it.
Tucker, I only paid 50 cents. I wouldn't want to make a profit. It was a purchase, not an investment.
Will you take 50 cents then?
It isn't mine to sell. I gave it to someone else.
Oh. Well, do you think you could get it back?
I doubt it.
Would you tell me who it is? Maybe I can make a deal for $1.50.
Well, why are you so anxious to buy this book back, Tucker?
Oh, a friend of mine wants it.
Well, a friend of mine has it. A very dear friend.
Well, there's got to be a way. There's just got to.
Well, if it means so much to you, perhaps if you explain to Dr. Hall.
Oh, that's all I need. The present.
Dr. Hall may have his forbidding aspects, but he's really a rather wise and compassionate man. And besides, he's the one that has the book now.
Oh, I'm cooked. Gee, I didn't want to tell you, Mrs. Hall, but you're in awful trouble.
I am?
And I got you into it. Do you know what that book was that you bought from me?
Yes. A first edition of poems by John Donne.
Why didn't you tell me? If you know what it was, why did you let me sell it to you for only 50 cents? Gee, it's worth an awful lot more than you paid for it.
I know. I'm told it's worth almost $1,500.
What? Oh, brother. Who told you that?
Dr. Hall.
I'm dead.
Yes, darling.
A young man just died.
So I see. He's quivering with rigor mortis. To coin a medical novelty.
Dr. Hall, I didn't do a thing, but now I've got you all into a mess, and I wish I'd never taken that darn job.
Now, sit down. Vicky, would you scare up a snack for Tucker?
Sure, he looks a little weak. Vitamins coming right up.
Now go ahead, Tucker. What were you saying?
Well, I work for the campus bookshop. This morning they sent me to the library to pick up some duplicate books. You know, whenever the library gets a new shipment, they weed out the shelves and sell all the extras to the store, and we put them on the bargain table. Well, there was a whole pile of them in the library office today, so I just took them. Nobody can blame me for that, can they?
Oh, it's always possible to blame anybody for anything. That's why the index finger is slightly curved. It points around corners. When did you find out that you'd taken the John Donne along with the others?
Oh, when Mrs. Hall picked it out. It was such a beat-up book, it didn't look worth 50 cents. And that's why I noticed it. Then when Mr. Empson started yelling about a valuable old book by John Donne missing from the library, I just ran here as fast as I could. I didn't want to make any trouble for Mrs. Hall.
Well, thank you. I can still make my entrances on cue. Here you are, boys. No tipping, please.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Vicky, Tucker here has just vividly described the peregrination of a particular book which has put us all in a kind of a pickle.
Well, you can read it with relish, Doctor.
Well, it's all very simple, Tucker. Mr. Maypole will understand when we explain what happened.
The Maypole? He'll never understand. He hates me.
No, then it isn't so simple. Why does he hate you?
Well, I used to work for him at the library. One day I found the book he'd misplaced, and he never forgave me. Then when Professor Cameraman asked him for a book, Maypole said it wasn't in the library, only I found it in the stacks. And I got fired for that, and I thought I was doing him a favor.
Well, when you help somebody like Maypole, you often expose him. Oh, don't worry, Tucker. I'll return the book to the library myself. And Maypole need never know you had anything to do with the matter.
Gee, you can't do that, Dr. Hall. I got you into this, and besides, the book's really yours now.
I think we should have that door removed and the 10-cent turnstile installed. I'll get it.
Tucker, I told you Dr. Hall would understand.
He's a great man, Mrs. Hall.
Oh, Mr. Wellman. Mr. Wellman!
Uh-oh.
You don't have to shout, Dr. Hall. May I come in?
Yes, of course, Mr. Wellman. Come in. Come in, Mr. Wellman!
Quick, Tucker, let's find a foxhole in the kitchen.
Mr. Wellman, I'm honored.
This is not a social call, Dr. Hall. I thought you'd be relieved to know that the thief has been found.
Oh? What did he steal?
Didn't Merriweather call you, or is it so unimportant that it has already slipped your mind, Dr. Hall? A rare volume was stolen from the library.
Oh, yes, the John Donne.
The thief is one of the students, Tucker Mills.
Well, what makes you...
He has a bad record. My cousin had to fire him from the library. He's been working recently at the campus bookshop and was seen in Maypole's office this morning when the book disappeared. The police will soon pick him up.
And I assume it's out of my hands. Well, thank you, Mr. Wellman, for taking the trouble to relieve my mind.
Your mind? Oh, yes. Bye, Dr. Hall.
Well, come out, wherever you are.
Has that Cossack gone, Bobby? Come on, Tucker. The coast's clear.
Weather still cloudy. Small storm ahead, I'm afraid.
Gee, Dr. Hall, I'm terribly sorry. I better give myself up and just tell the truth.
Oh, I believe in the truth, too, Tucker, but if Wellman and Maypole have their way, and they must have it to clear up Maypole's blunder, you'd have your day in court, and I've no doubt that justice would eventually prevail. But in the meantime, what about your term papers? Your final examinations, you'll miss all of that. Who's going to make up for it? For all of truth, you'll still pay a penalty, and that would be very unfair.
Gee, Doctor, and besides that, I'm causing you an awful lot of trouble.
Oh, you weren't the cause, Tucker, but you could be the innocent victim. And you will be unless we find a way to silence Wellman and Maypole. For instance, if the missing book were to be found in the presence of witnesses right on Maypole's desk where it was all along, or should have been, well, then I think they'd be glad to let the matter drop.
Who's going to put it there?
I'll toss you for it.
Oh, you got a two-headed nickel. You always win. Not a maypole in sight. We're in luck. Put the book on his desk. Quick.
It's done. Excelsior.
Never mind, dear. I'll keep looking for another one, and someday I'll find it. Maybe at an old rummage sale or the cut-rate drugstore somewhere.
You know, Vicky, so often the end of a search is the beginning of disillusion. But I remember one occasion when it was the beginning of everything.
When was that?
Oh, not too many years ago in London. I, usually so full of words, in an excess of adoration, sought another voice. I rushed you to the British Museum Library, found the volume I wanted, so that another might speak my heart for me. You remember the quiet of that library as I read to you from John Donne? I wonder by my troth what thou and I did till we loved.
William, you always part your hair on the right side.
Yes. Shall I start over?
And does the iris in your eyes always flash little sparks?
No, I don't think so.
I'm sorry, darling. Go on.
I wonder by my troth what thou and I did till we loved. Were we not weaned till then? But sucked on country pleasures childishly? Or snorted we in the seven sleepers' den? 'Twas so. But this all pleasure's fancies be. If ever any beauty I did see, which I desired and got, 'twas but a dream of thee. And now, good morrow to our waking souls, which watch not one another out of fear, for love all love of other sights controls, and makes one little room an everywhere.
Makes one little room an everywhere.
Excuse me, sir. If you two are going to make a commotion, you'll have to leave this library.
Oh, my good man, are you calling love a commotion?
Who is speaking of love, sir?
What else is there to speak of, sir? And if you insist on making a commotion about love...
Toddy, I'd love to make that kind of a commotion if you could drag yourself back from wherever you are. And wherever it is, I'd like to be there, too.
You always are, my dear.
Dr. Hall. Mrs. Hall.
Mr. Maypole.
I'm sorry I wasn't here in my office to greet you. I left for a moment to check with the police department.
Oh, are you on probation for something, Mr. Maypole?
Of course not. You know what has happened?
Well, I've heard disturbing rumors that you lost a very valuable book from the Breckenridge collection.
Lost? Lost, indeed. Dr. Hall, it was stolen.
What was stolen, Mr. Maypole?
A first edition of John Donne. I thought you knew.
John Donne? I saw it here a minute ago. Where was it? Here we are. You mean this?
What? Dr. Hall, where did you get this book?
Why, I just picked it up from your desk here.
It wasn't there. It couldn't have been. I tore this place apart. I know it wasn't there. In fact, I know who took it.
Couldn't you have made a mistake, Mr. Maypole?
I never make a mistake. I know who had this book.
Oh. Then you knew I had it.
You?
I bought it.
You?
I bought it for Dr. Hall for 50 cents.
50 cents? You couldn't have.
But I did. I bought it at the campus bookshop.
But how did it get to the campus bookshop?
Well, perhaps the answer is that you left a very valuable piece of merchandise lying on top of a pile of discards.
The boy stole it.
Now, why should a boy steal something worth almost $1,500 and sell it for 50 cents? Particularly when he didn't make a cent for himself.
I'll talk to dear Mr. Wellman about this.
Do by all means. I hardly think that your cousin, who is at least a good businessman, would approve of such ineptitude.
Oh, This is a trick, Dr. Hall.
No, Mr. Maypole. Just a full, if somewhat eccentric circle. We should be grateful the circle is now completed. But I don't think the Board of Governors would find it very funny if they knew that the custodian of such valuable treasures as this didn't know a first edition from a duplicate.
Oh, Dr. Hall, in all my years, I've never been accused.
In all your years, and in all the years to come, Mr. Maypole, you should be everlastingly indebted to one person, my wife. If she hadn't bought this book, somebody else might have come along and bought it, and then where would you have been? Good afternoon, Mr. Maypole.
Honey, you're magnificent. Didn't you switch our plans around a little? Or you told Maypole the real story. He didn't deserve to know the truth.
I couldn't help myself, darling. I'm a lazy man, and I've always found the truth so much less effort than evasion. You know, sometimes Vicky.
What is it?
Something awful has happened. We've got to go back to the library.
But, Toddy, are you all right? What is it?
George Maypole owes you 50 cents.
I was curious. I tasted it. Now I know why Schlitz is the largest selling beer in America. No wonder it's the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
And here again are Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Champagne for Caesar. We'll be seeing you next week at this time at the Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman. Friends, Look magazine, now on the newsstand, carries a wonderful story about Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman and the Halls of Ivy. It's called Ronald Coleman Becomes a College President. When you read it and see the interesting pictures, you'll know why the Colemans fit so convincingly the roles of Dr. Hall and the charming Vicky. That's Look magazine on the stands now. Other players in our cast tonight were Willard Waterman, Herbert Butterfield, Rolf Sedan, Sidney Miller, and William Tracy. Tonight's script was written by Barbara and Milton Merlin and Don Quinn. The Halls of Ivy was created by Don Quinn, directed by Nat Wolf, and presented by the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Ken Carpenter speaking.
Margaret McBride, kiddies.
The Fred Allen Show, with Fred's guests Monte Wooley, Portland Hopper, Minerva Pius as Mrs. Nussbaum, the DeMarco sisters, and Al Goodman and his orchestra. And if you ever want to look me up in the phone book, girls, my name is Kenny Delmar. This week, ladies and gentlemen, the New American Magazine is on the stands. It contains the life story of Fred Allen. Millions of readers are saying, who is Fred Allen? There is only one answer to this Fred Allen question, and here it is. Fred Allen.
Thank you, and good evening. This is Fred Allen, in case there is any doubt, ladies and gentlemen, in case the name didn't come up earlier in the program. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Say, tell me, Kenny, did you happen to read the story of my life in the American Magazine?
No, Fred. What is it? One of those rags to riches yarns?
No, it's from rags to rags, Kenny. I hold my own in the story. You know, I was born in Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Oh, that must have been a long time ago.
Yes, Kenny. There was no bird life in Cambridge in those days.
The stork used to bring his bundles only as far as Boston, and the American Express delivered the babies the rest of the way.
You were born in a small town.
Cambridge was so small, when the Siamese twins stood on the main street, one of the twins was out of town, Kenny. Cambridge was so far back in the woods those days, the mayor was an owl. He used to molt every 2 years and get back in the office again.
Well, what happened when you got older, Fred?
Well, when I was 15, my voice changed, and I joined the church choir.
You were a choir boy?
Yes, Kenny. The first Sunday I sang in church, 200 people changed their religion. I started singing one of... Well, Portland. You're just in time, Portland. Time to strike out for Allen's Alley.
Oh, have you a question for tonight?
You bet. You know, this past week, a Senate subcommittee published a list of new inventions, aluminum and glass clothing, and electrical gadgets that will greatly influence our post-war lives. And so our question tonight is, how do you think these new scientific developments are going to affect you?
Shall we go?
As one anchor said to the other anchor, let's away. Well, here we are back in Allen's Alley, Portland. Say, I wonder if the senator had to run for re-election last week. Let's see.
Somebody knock. Yeah, vote for Claghorn. Senator Claghorn, that is.
Now, wait a minute. I know.
They keep going over your head.
Well, I know that. I don't...
If you're listening, you should be laughing.
Well, I'm doing it. Try to get put points on my words. I'll get one in edgewise. Now, look, are you through, Senator, temporarily?
Yeah.
Can I
Sam.
Yes. Look, Senator, are you upset about these new post-war inventions?
Well, there's only one thing that's got me worried, son.
What's that?
Them new aluminum suits for men.
Aluminum suits?
If they take all of America's kitchen utensils to make aluminum suits...
Yes?
The taxpayer will be caught with his pants down. So long, that is.
So long.
See you to the Alamo.
Well, the senator shouldn't worry about aluminum. He should worry about getting the lead out. I wonder if Titus Moody is in tonight.
Howdy, Bob.
Well, Mr. Moody, have you tried any of these post-war ideas?
Yeah, I started feeding my sheep ionized yeast.
Feeding your sheep ionized yeast?
I was trying to grow steel wool.
Well, tell me, how did your experiment work out?
Not so good, Bob.
No?
Yesterday it rained.
Yes?
Today I got 500 rusty sheep.
I've never heard of rust taking it on the land, but I guess you know. Tell me, Mr. Moody, have you had any other trouble with these new gadgets?
Yeah, my automatic milking machine kicked up.
How?
I had the machine hooked onto my cow, milking.
Yeah?
I went to bed and forgot to turn it off.
You left the milking machine running all night? Well, what happened?
Milked the cow inside out.
Didn't it ruin the cow?
No, she's still giving milk.
Yes?
But the cream is on the bottom.
I should have asked Mr. Moody to do a few curd tricks while he was here. Well, let's try this next house here.
No.
Ah, Mrs. Nussbaum.
You were expecting maybe Lauren Bagel?
Tell me, Mrs. Nussbaum, are you in favor of these inventions to improve modern living?
Forward with science. This is my mayor's slogan.
Forward with science. Have you tried any of these new household gadgets?
Match. I am buying a magic Davenport.
What is a magic Davenport?
First, it is only a Davenport.
Where does the magic come in?
You are pushing a button. Presto, the Davenport is hiding in the wall.
Oh, good.
You are pushing another button. Change-o. The Davenport is coming out of the wall of bed.
Say, that is magic.
Magic, tragic. It is making me a widow.
What happened?
My husband, Pierre, is sitting on the Davenport.
Yeah?
Presto, the Davenport is hiding in the wall.
Yes?
Change-o, it is staying there.
Your husband, Pierre, is trapped in the wall?
For 4 days already.
And is Pierre still alive?
We are feeding him through the wall, a knothole.
Well, what is Pierre eating?
Frankfurt is one at a time.
Well, after this experience, I guess you didn't buy any other new items.
Only one.
Which one?
They are making shoes from soybeans. I'm buying 2 pairs.
Oh, you like your soybean shoes?
Detective, they are delicious. Thank you.
That brings us to the last shack in the alley. A knock here should certainly start something.
Oh, it's you, Saggy Eyes.
Well, McGee and McGee. Now, something tells me you boys have a new song for tonight.
Have you heard? When it's tulip time in Toledo, Tallulah, I'll have tulips waiting for you.
Now, wait a minute. Look, fellas. Look, tonight we are discussing post-war innovations.
Great. We got a song about these new glass suits.
Glass suits?
Yeah. I'll be seeing you in all the open air.
Thank you, McGee and McGee. You're not through, that's what you think. And now for some singing. Now for some singing that's worthwhile, ladies and gentlemen. The 5 DeMarco sisters, accompanied by Maestro Al Goodman and his music pupils. The DeMarco sing Paper Moon.
Oh, it's only a paper moon sailing over a cardboard sea. But it would be make-believe if you believed in me. Yes, only a canvas sky hanging over a muslin tree. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Without your love, it's a melody played out of any arcade. Yes, yes. Part of my Bailey well, just as phony as it can be. But it wouldn't be make-believe if you believed in me. Without your love, it's a honky-tonk parade. Without your love, it's a melody played. Melody played on the penny arcade. It's the Barnum and Bailey world, just as phony as it can be. But it would be make-believe if you believed in me. If you believed in me.
Maestro Al Goodman and his 8 bars is a concerto orchestra have just played That's For Me. Mr. Goodman has more unfinished symphonies on hand that Schubert ever dreamed of. Say, Portland.
Yes?
Is there a copy of today's paper around?
If you want to know the latest news, Edgar Bergen just got married.
No kidding. Charlie McCarthy has a stepmother, hey? Why, that little fugitive from a sawmill, it serves him right.
I'd hate to be a ventriloquist's wife.
What?
If a ventriloquist talks in his sleep at night...
You mean if he throws his voice?
Yes. His wife has to get out of bed and go downstairs to hear what he's saying.
Oh, it's too much trouble. I wouldn't even bother with it. Unless it was interesting. But look, you could see the script before he went to sleep. You would know. Look, Portland. I'm not interested in Charlie. I just want to look at the want ads. I have to find someone who wants to sell a radio.
Isn't your radio working?
No, a friend of mine who lives in Jersey went home the other night and took the tube. Here's the paper. I wish he took that gag with him, too. Here's the paper on this chair. Let us look at these want ads here.
Oh, here's one. We'll exchange swords and 8 medals for good alibi.
Signed, General Yamashita. He can use a good alibi at the moment.
Say, here's something.
About a radio? What does it say?
We'll give my portable radio to anyone strong enough to carry it away. MW, room 40, Gem Hotel.
Jim, you know that's a little theatrical hotel on 47th Street. I'll see you later, Portland. I'm going over to see MW, room 40. Room 38, 39, room 40. Here we are.
Yes?
Is MW in?
I'm MW, Monte Wooley.
Well, Mr. Wooley.
If you are the exterminator man, there is wildlife rampant in my mattress.
No,
If you are the bellboy, I want a clean towel.
But
Look at this towel. It's blacker than a side curtain on a hearse.
Now, look, mister.
If you are the manager, I want knobs put on these doors. I'm sick of opening doors with a corkscrew.
But, Monty, I'm Fred Allen.
Fred, what are you doing in this flea bag? Are you furnishing a dog?
Now, Monty, stop complaining. Every hotel in town is crowded. You're lucky to even get in this little theatrical hotel.
Lucky? Well, I'm sharing this room with 4 acrobats, 3 midgets, 2 seals, and a talking hippopotamus.
But there's no light in here. How can you read here at night?
A fire eater lives in the club.
A fire eater?
Yeah, he eats with the door open.
But how?
I read by the light of the fire eater's dinner.
Oh, I see. That clarifies that. To me, at least. Well, I'll see you later, Monty. I'm looking for some chump who put an ad in the paper. He wants to give away his radio set.
I am the chump, Fred.
Oh, really?
Here's my radio set. Get it out of my sight.
Monty, you've turned against radio?
Well, what is radio? Smiling Irishman, jingles, LS, MFT, and those jokes radio comedians tell about my beard.
Oh, you mean when you are on their programs?
Yes. Last week, a comedian said, Monty, if I lose my raccoon tail, can I borrow your chin for my radiator cap?
I remember one comedian said, you look as though you just ate a full of brush, man, and his samples are sticking out.
Well, another so-called radio wit said, Monty, your face should be hanging down in front of a Scotsman's kilt. Radio bar.
Now, look, Monty, are you through panning radio?
There's one thing more, Fred.
Really?
Now, those crime programs.
What about them?
No crime ever goes unsolved in radio. Mr. District Attorney never loses a case.
That's right.
Your FBI gets its man every week.
Well, what kind of a crime program would you like to hear, Monty?
Just once, I'd like to hear the truth.
The truth?
The story of a district attorney or police commissioner who has some trouble with a case.
Oh, I see.
A guy who isn't infallible.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to be on one of those programs.
Say, I think I can fix that for you, Monty.
Fred, it'll bring back my faith in radio. I'd like to see what happens to me.
Okay, Inspector Wooley, you are on the air.
Mr. Mobbuster. And here he is, ladies and gentlemen, champion of the people, foe of the underworld, the defender of law and order, Mr. Mobbuster.
Thank you.
And what is your thrilling story for tonight, Mr. Mobbuster?
Tonight, I will show you how I dealt with the most dangerous criminal I encountered in my 40 years on the force.
Who was the most dangerous criminal, Mr. Mobbuster?
Charlie the Chicken.
Charlie the Chicken?
Yes. But it all started back in 1936. I was in my office at police headquarters, polishing some brass knuckles with my right-hand man, Mulligan. Out of a clear sky, Mulligan said...
Chief, I don't understand it. 30 years in the office, and you ain't caught one criminal yet.
It's just a slump, Mulligan.
67 unsolved murders this week alone, Chief. The streets is jammed with bodies.
Has anybody noticed it?
Some street cleaners stooled on you, Chief. The newspapers is hinting you're a coward.
I'll come through, Mulligan. They've got to give me time. Miss Pitt, my secretary.
Here's your fan mail, Chief. One postcard.
What does it say?
As long as you are in office, our minds are at ease.
Good. Who's it from?
Murder Incorporated.
Chief, you're the laughing stock of the city. You gotta catch a criminal pretty soon.
If I can just get one case, I'll show the newspapers. Miss Pitt, turn on my shortwave set.
Okay, Chief.
Attention all police. Poultry truck hijacked in Jersey. 2,000 chickens stolen. Charlie the chicken suspected. Charlie the chicken suspected. Attention all.
Jeepers, Chief.
Mulligan, that's the case for me.
Charlie the chicken's the biggest chicken napper in the country. This case will be a feather in your cap, Chief.
Right, Mulligan. Miss Finn.
Yeah, Chief.
Call the newspapers. Tell them I'm bringing in Charlie the chicken single-handed. Let's go, Mulligan.
Okay, Chief.
This is mighty exciting, Mr. Mobbuster. What happened next?
Well, chickens were disappearing every day. I got a tip that Charlie the chicken was going to rob the biggest chicken coop in the Bronx.
You were prepared?
Mulligan and I hid in the coop. Day and night we sat on 2 nests, disguised as chickens. One night as we sat there in the dark clucking, I heard Mulligan speak.
Chief, I gotta get off this nest. No kidding, if I...
Quiet, Mulligan. Somebody just came in the coop.
Okay, Chief. I'll get back on the nest. We better start clucking again.
Who's talking? Who's in here? Who's there? When till I flash me searchlight? I thought so. 2 chickens with derbies on.
I've got you, Charlie the chicken.
Coppers, eh? Take this.
We can lay the chief on this table, Miss Finn.
Okay, Mulligan. Easy now.
Oh.
We got you back to the office okay, Chief. No reporters even seen you.
I can't hear you.
No wonder you can't hear, Chief.
Jeepers. Charlie the chicken shot off both your ears.
No ears? Well, what'll I hang my glasses on?
Gee, you're a sight, Chief. In that chicken coop 3 days, phew.
Let me get some of them chicken feathers off you.
Yeah, I'll comb this mash out of your hair, Chief.
Never mind the mash. Get this egg off my chin. My beard looks like an omelet with a point on it.
Charlie the chicken got away clean.
Yes, but I'm a mess. I'll find Charlie the chicken if it's...
I'll get it, Chief. Don't bother getting up. You'll dirty the floor. Hello?
Is Mr. Mobbuster there?
Yeah?
This is the FBI.
Yeah.
Charlie the chicken is going to stick up the Acme cold storage plant tonight. Tell Mr. Mobbuster to get going.
Okay, John Egger.
Who was it, Mulligan?
The FBI. John Egger, personally. Charlie the chicken is holding up the Acme cold storage plant, Chief, and the job is tonight.
This time, Mulligan, Charlie the chicken is a dead duck. Let's go.
Okay, Chief.
You've got us all biting our nails, Mr. Mobbuster. Did you catch Charlie?
Not exactly. Miss Finn, Mulligan, and I went to the cold storage plant. We were hiding behind 3 icicles. I heard Mulligan say...
Shh. Quiet, Chief. Charlie the chicken is in that icebox.
Good. I've got him trapped.
What are you going to do?
Yeah, what's your next move, Chief?
Mulligan, you and Miss Finn go back to the office and call the reporters and photographers.
But, Chief...
I'm bringing in Charlie the chicken alone.
Good luck, Chief. Let's beat it, Miss Finn.
Now, I'll open this icebox door.
Who opened that door?
Come out with your hands up, Charlie the chicken.
Oh, yeah? Take this, copper. Oh! Now, Mr. Mobbuster, I'm locking you in this icebox.
can lay the chief on the floor, Mulligan.
Okay, Miss Finn. He's a solid block of ice. I'll put him down over here. Hey, that was a good idea of yours, carrying the chief home with these ice tongs.
2 weeks in that ice box, he looks like a human rink.
I'll chip away some of this ice and see if the chief is still alive.
Chip a hole near his mouth.
Okay. As soon as I chip off this little chunk, his mouth will be free.
How do you feel, Chief?
Ooh, like a big popsicle. Get me out of this frozen kimono.
A couple of more chops, Chief.
There you are, Chief.
Ooh, what an experience. I'm colder than a snowman's clavicle.
Hey, Chief, your nose is gone.
Charlie, the chicken's a sure shot, Chief.
I know. My ears are gone. My nose is shut off. I'm starting to lose faith.
Hey, Chief, why don't you call off this manhunt?
Hey, Chief, this code message just came on the teletype.
Eureka! The address of Charlie the Chicken's hideout. Come on, Mulligan.
Okay, Chief. Is this the joint, Chief?
Yes. Charlie the Chicken hangs out in this Bowery saloon.
Yeah?
Let's go in.
Hey, you better be careful, Chief. Chief, this joint looks creepy.
Hey, bartender, is Charlie around?
Look behind you, bud.
Clap hands, Chief. Here comes Charlie.
At last, Charlie, I've got you.
Nobody's taking Charlie the Chicken alive, copper. Take that!
Gosh! What happened then, Mr. Mobbuster?
Well, Charlie the Chicken made his final getaway. He disappeared completely.
And you?
I was removed from office. When I got out of the charity ward, practically and partially recovered from my wounds, I was out of work for 9 years until I got this job on the radio.
What became of Charlie?
Charlie the Chicken sold all his stolen chickens in the black market for a fabulous sum and is now living in Florida under the alias of Gordon the Goose. He has a 50-room mansion with a private beach, 3 yachts, 12 speedboats, and a private plane. He spends his days at the track and is engaged to a beautiful movie star.
And so, Mr. Mobbuster, the moral of this story is...
crime does not pay.
thank Monte Wooley for joining us tonight. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, next Sunday night, the Fred Allen Show brings you comedy. Comedy, that is. Drama.
I'm finished, Ronald. I'm at the end of my rope.
Cheer up, old girl, cheer up. I'll wind up your yo-yo again.
And our guest will be...
Boris Karloff.
Boo. Good night.
Fred Allen will be back again next week at this same time. This is the Armed Forces Radio Service.